I think everything's fine. I think. I hope. There it is. Tiny Bunny. I played this. I think I actually still have the video up. Let me actually... I'm curious now. Let me look. Let me look really quick. See if I actually have the part 1 of this. Because I played this once on my channel before. Like, I don't know when, but I played it a while back. There we go. It's taking forever to load. Let's go there. Yeah, I did. December 18th, 2020. Oh, that was more than 2 years ago. Alright. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. It's just great. Good to know. Let's go to my Discord. Say, everybody, I'm streaming a horror game. For spoilers, this is a horror game. There we go. Great. All right. So Tiny Bunny. It is a novelistic, like I say novelistic, the point and click, choose your own adventure kind of game. At least I think it is. It's supposed to be. What I played so far, I played the first episode. Like the first part. I think what I'm going to do is actually just put this... edit this really quick and put the Tiny Bunny itself. Nope, not what I want. I don't want to play the old one. If you want to go watch the part, my first time playing through it. Then you can. It was a good game. Like, I was genuinely surprised at how good this game, how much I enjoyed this game. There's some more episodes out. It is extremely bright. I think they have like 3 out. I think. I know it's not Dokkan Pat. My channel's not just Dokkan. It's a horror game. It's choice-based. There we go. I'm excited to play it. Yeah, Pat, my channel originally started as Kingdom Hearts, Pat. Remember that. Dokkan came later. This is frickin' bright. The wind clawed at my window all night long. It had wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twined in the air. They were shouting and laughing, and arguing about something. Horror game on my DBZ Dokkan Battle channel. Hey, I was horror before Dokkan came out. I was horror before I mainlined Dokkan, before I started doing Dokkan as much as I do. It was either this or JP Dokkan, but I feel like I do JP Dokkan every year. I want to do something different. Plus, Danger and I can be streaming something later today, so I'm doing this till he hops on. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. It's a good game, though. So if you like if you like story-based stuff, I think you may like this one. It's a good game. Our house had a mind of its own. The creaky old mind of a building that had seemed lost in its days was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the tiny green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes. Is Slender even a thing anymore? Is Slender Man even a thing? I have not heard Slender in years, it seems like. Like, I legitimately haven't. Is that even a thing? Could you imagine? That'd be horrifying. It's like Mimikyu in Pokemon. Wrestling, whizzing, swaying back and forth. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves there's nobody behind the crooked trees. Fuzzy silhouettes swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. So it's a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was my imagination. I was already 12, after all. Yes, 12. The ripe age for imagination. Still. Look, it's a fox. Episode 1. The owl will arrive. Yeah, I think there's like 2 or 3 out. I know I at least have 2.
Убери книгу немедленно.
Oh, voices? Hey, put away your book!
Сколько раз говорила, не читай за столом, вредно. Сидишь, сутулился весь.
Neat! I can't understand them. Good thing there's subtitles. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look at how slouched you are. Yeah. Great chance to dodge. I'm trying to think. Stop it, Pat. Wrong. Pat, you're making me think. Hey, Pat, I have an idea for something. Do you want to play a game one day? And it's, I say a game. It's you and I come up with units from other things, horror, like any sort of other type of fiction, and make a Dokkan unit for it. And then let's say you put it on TikTok and see who gets more views, gets more likes, wins. Hide the book. I didn't protest to put the book about Conan the Barbarian aside. I forget there's a book about him. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Ollie had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic she almost looked like a typical girl from commercials. This isn't fitting my screen right. There we go.
Пока не съешь, из-за стола не встанешь.
Horseshosh. That's horrible. I actually know. I can't. How do I say this? I know a little bit of Russian. Not much. I'm not going anywhere until you finish all of it. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate in the eyes, as if it would make the porridge disappear. You never know, Pat. You never know. I mean, we just got to do this. We got to sit down one day and make it like a Diddy Nano kind of thing, or like scrolling on the internet and be like, yes, this is it. It's an LR. Get all this stuff and actually make a true Dokkan art. That would be fun. Hazy anxiousness welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless night. The black forest around our house and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the colder the lumpy white substance became. There is a chicken looking in my house. I swear this bird's looking at me. Or it's looking at my dogs. It's doing something out there. It looks like a jellyfish from the Costello Odyssey. I love that show. I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is. Or how cold the black forest is at night. The spoon fell out of my hand. How dramatic. Mom showered me with a cold glare from green eyes. I cannot tell those are green.
Что я говорила?
What did I just say?
Я достану.
Oh, that's my voice. Well, get it! LR chicken. God, LR chicken. Hey, Pat, how does it sound? How does it sound? Is it too loud? Okay, since you're here, is it too loud? Like, is the music too loud? Like the audio on this? Like, as long as you can hear, because right now there's piano playing in the background. The music accompanying this game is a big thing about how it helps with, like, the horror aspects of it. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Pat. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this carved on the other side of the table? Karina. Ha! That's my mom's name. I guess she carves it out with something pointy when she was little. She sure was a rascal damaging the furniture like that. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar, though. Should I remind her about it? Nah, she's been in a bit of a bad mood lately. I imagine her being at my age, sitting under this table. I wonder, was Mom afraid of the dark back then? Or the sounds coming from the attic? Or the thick forest? Or the black chicken walking outside my yard, just strutting? Oh, God. Oh, God. Granny is spooky. I want to do something. Because Tiny Bunny has a Twitter page. I wonder if I say, like, hey, I'm streaming this, if they'll retweet it. So I can have people watching this. Let's see here. I'm going to try something. Pat, wish me luck. I just realized I always forget about Twitter. I never use Twitter. Do I follow Tiny Bunny? Does this Twitter follow Tiny Bunny? I do follow Tiny Bunny. Alrighty, let's see how this goes. Let's make a Twitter post. Tweet. How do I tag people? Ah. I know, it's very unprofessional. I should have done this earlier, but I didn't even think about doing this earlier. LR Bunny X Dokkan Battle. Funny fact! I say fun fact. I don't know if there's any rabbits in this game. I think it's just called Tiny Bunny. I haven't played enough. I imagine Grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of her bed, where Alia sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice.
Тайга особое место, дитятка.
Taiga's a special place, little girl.
Она к тебе присматривается, принюхивается.
It's watching you closely, sniffing you out.
Словно хочет понять, что ты за зверь такой.
Trying to discern what kind of beast you are.
Понравишься, в беде не бросит.
If you're a good sort, it won't abandon you in times of trouble. I don't know. Like I said, I've played one episode of this. And 2 years ago, there could have been a rabbit in there, and I just can't remember.
А будешь проказничать, схватит за бочок и утащит с собой под землю.
But if you're a bad apple, it'll grab you by the side and drag you under the bed.
Тут и дело с концом.
And that would be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times with the maddening screams until late at night, without smashed dishes and mutual accusations. Our parents told us to leave each other. Used to love each other back then. Gosh! I remember listening in on one of their conversations by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for a funeral. She had already bought a casket and called it her cute funeral box. Her cute funeral box. It waited for its time in the closet, patiently. It was black, upholstered with meat-colored material on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all of the photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures with gray faces of my ancestors. They all had a dead but watchful look in their eyes. I crawled out from under the table. Porridge was still there. Alia was done with her cookies and was looking at my share like a sly woodland critter. I will say, Pat, how well can you handle horror? I turned my gaze toward the frosted window, because this game had a jump scare in it that actually got me, and the fact that I'm saying that means something, and it's not often in a game that I actually get jumped by a scare. Like, if I get jumped... Oh, okay. Bye, Pat. Alright, bye, Pat. He was here for a minute. Now I'm alone. That's okay. There were lots of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of frost formed a picture on the glass. It was
гляди, лиса!
Alia, look, it's a fox!
Где?
Где? Where? Where? It almost looked like those optical illusion thingies they put in the back of student notebooks. Did my finger start bleeding again? I accidentally cut it open yesterday. I'm fine. A mixture of lines at first glance, but if you blur your vision a little bit and look under a certain angle...
Да не на улице, на стекле.
Not outside, on the window.
Смотри, вот нос, вот.
Look, here's the nose, and here's...
Ну-ка, доедай.
Hey, eat up!
Да, да, сейчас.
Yes, just a moment.
Я ничего не вижу.
I don't see anything.
Живо. Совсем немного осталось.
Hurry up, there's not much left.
А, вот. Но все равно не похоже.
Ah, there it is! But it still doesn't look like one.
А я говорю, похоже.
Okay. You could... No. If you know it's coming, sometimes you know it's coming, sometimes not. I feel like parents aren't as good at scaring kids as they like to think.
Не-а.
Nuh-uh.
Похоже.
It does.
Прекратите! Ну что за дети?
I mean, Pat, I feel like you don't have... Pat, I'm not trying to sound mean, but you have, like, that kind of, like, voice and personality, like, you have, like, one tone. I've never heard you go high-pitched, low-pitched, you have, like, a one-tone voice. Stop it, these kids, I swear. Now, I couldn't see the fox either. It disappeared. It went away. Only the frosty pattern, similar to stretched-out nettle leaves, kept creeping up the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with long, measured steps, and he was ripped. I want to have a beard like his when I grow up. My mom would always ask jokingly, "Come on, shave it off, it stings." This was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Maybe. Alia always covers her ears whenever she hears something like, "What's the point in all this?" through the wall. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply, "for the sake of our family." I always caught every sound in fear of hearing the most dreaded, the deadliest word that started with a D. Dividend. Divide. Actually, divide's kind of close. D-I-V-O. I didn't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into two different families.
Да что твоя лиса? Вот у меня на окне сова.
Alia reminds me of Anya from Spy Family. Anyway, your fox is nothing. That's not it. I have an owl outside my window.
Опять ты со своей совой.
You and your owl talk again.
Так ты же вчера мне верил.
You said you believed me yesterday.
Никто ключи от машины не видел?
Has anyone seen my car keys?
Вроде оставлял на подоконнике.
Remember leaving them on the windowsill. No, I'm gonna get rid of the voice. Especially since I'm reading them. Right. Maybe you did, and maybe not. You're a grown man, a father too, and still. Mom is antagonistic. Very antagonistic. Like, look at this. Karina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace. Keys are in the basket near the phone. Well, thank you very much. Anton, stop making a martyr of yourself and finish eating already. But the owl! There was no owl. But there was one! It had giant glowing eyes! And I guarantee you she's about to go boop. Alia sprung off the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a pair of... Oh, she's like this. With her fingers the size of an apple each. Last year you had bye-bye in your closet. Now this owl, and also I remembered one thing. You got these nice little glossary here. Bye-bye. In Slavic folklore, a nocturnal spirit used by parents to threaten their ill-behaving children. I do not have the means to pull up a picture at the moment, but that's okay. But I saw it! Alia shifted her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom to me, but couldn't find any support. Have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding with imaginary mice? Don't bully our girl. You are not the one. You are not the one to be saying this, Karina. You just got mad, or being antagonistic that he couldn't find his keys. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's little. Alia patted her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway. Isn't it? The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Oh, that look in her eyes. It's so uncomfortable to depend under it. Dad snorted in reply and left, ringing in the keys he just found. Part of your world. A minute had passed, and the theme song from The Little Mermaid echoed throughout the house. It was stored on an incredibly worn-out cassette tape, which Dad already had glued together once. So easy to fix objects, by gluing them back together. But how do you fix a relationship? These are very... Is esoteric the right word? These are very big questions for a 12-year-old to have. Mom moved to the living room, and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. And the porch that never got touched. Alia had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn and curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped to take our mind off all the troubles we had with the move and our parents. Yo, hello. Then Alia said what she saw, the giant flying monster outside her window, and became obsessed with it. Pat didn't even like my stuff. I'm never liking Pat's stuff. Again. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Alia refused to sleep alone and didn't believe the owl was just one of her nightmares. Oh, the music. We'll talk about the music. After last night, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words and what to think of it myself. Could nightmares be infectious? That night I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect from my new school. There were a couple days left before the beginning of a new term. My imagination drew long, twisted hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. There's a cat on the wall. Is that Freddie Mercury? But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures, cut out using a template. Circular holes gaped in the middle of their faces, and pairs of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creatures were looking at me from behind the flat black silhouettes. The cruel glares filled with icy sneers made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down? Stomp me with their blooded shoes? The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wish for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what, but I didn't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who were just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name name for me worse than the previous one. Sorry, I have dyslexia sometimes. My brain shifts words around so I get confused. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider or some sort of monster. The house is squeaking. My gaze slid across the drawings on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Alia begged me to hang them. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. I mean, that cat doesn't look bad. If that's a drawing, that doesn't look bad. That doesn't look bad at all. There's a dinosaur up there. And paintbrushes. If that's a drawing, okay. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagine my mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You've got the wrong number." See, even the kids realize that that's a bad mother. Or, Anton is not around. Anton is not around. I imagine my future classmates lying in their beds, just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all. But who will ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet. My mom. But you just harked on her. God, I don't like Mom. I'm going to say this right now. I do not care much for Mom. The house creaked, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbors' drills, mumbled with the TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. Yeah, old houses are a completely different thing. I live in a house that's over 100 years old. It is not fun. It was silent and easygoing during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners on the closet, cobwebs under the stairs. They all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if old photos of my deceased family with their ashen eyes were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor was squeaking, rusty drains were moaning, the attic was occupied by noisy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. There it is. Then I realized I was, in fact, hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Somewhere at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed with the sound of the wind, of the creaking old house, and my thoughts too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that this music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. I just realized something. I was trying to get a video uploaded. It's not like someone is playing it there amidst a cold, snowy night, right? We're gonna open. Yeah, look at that. I don't see a bunny out there. Unless that one's the bunny. Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes I could barely make out with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basking in the moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around, and crawled on all fours. Let's see here. I see the owl. There's the owl, definitely right there. There's a bear. I think there's a fox. I know there's a wolf. So that makes that one either... Maybe that one's the rabbit? Stories about wolves playing under the moon come to mind. But these were clearly not wolves. Great. I'm being ganged up on my Discord. This stood upright at times, circled around, holding hands and whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment and then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. You know, I'm going to turn the music sound up for me. Let me just get the sound up, because the louder it is, the spookier it is. Why is my Discord? Okay, it's loud now. Suddenly the music stopped. The dancing shadows froze in place, and I could swear, piercing with their eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. Goal, that's loud. It glided on spooky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch-black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like birds inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back toward the bed. They saw me! A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guests move and scrape around, looking for an entrance. My ears slowly burning. As it gets louder, they moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guest should be at the front door. I jumped into the bed and covered myself with a blanket as if it could protect me. I actually thought about this. Like the other day, I'm not even kidding, I was at work moving stuff, and I randomly thought about being a kid and hiding under a blanket. I can't remember, maybe I was 10, I want to say. 10 or 11. I want to say maybe 11. But I was in my the house my parents live in, and No, I was younger than 10, because we moved into the house when I was... Anyway, we moved... Whatever house... Let's say I was 10. But I had a blanket on me, and I was sitting there under the blanket imagining, if I go this way, they'll never find me. If I go that way, they'll never find me. I have escape routes under the blanket. And here I am, like, 10 years later, like, I was an idiot. If I just pick it up, you see me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remembered the funeral, my grandma lying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a tin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my grandma's casket. I imagined those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelids with their tiny legs. It's getting loud! Then her wrinkly eyeballs would once again move inside their sockets, and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. I was chanting the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure. And now, lying under the blanket. What's up, Danger? Danger, I see you and Zay talking about me in the Discord. I don't appreciate it. And now, lying under the blanket, listening to the squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words. On the island of Bouillon, underneath the blemished sun, and the sea of the color blue, stands a cabin made of wood. There lay lard and ashen hair for the spawn from devil's lair. To feast and always leave alone, God's faithful servant, Antone! Evil leave this house must. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre sounds had disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from under the table and saw curtains waving around like a hanged man. And then the night doused me with a new portion of boiling terror. The sound scratched at my eardrums. In reality, something or someone were scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad became very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intently, as if he was looking for someone. Ashes to ashes. Dust to dust. I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of the darkness. If you play, like, more often, rare... Like I said, we're gonna play... Like, let's do some math here. Kingdom Hearts 1 is 3 hours, so we got Chain of Memories. Kingdom Hearts 2, That right there is 9 hours, unfortunately to our deal we've made. So I'll play it 9 hours. If you say, Hayden, we're going to stream Fortnite, I'll begrudgingly go hop on Fortnite. So you want to get me Gohan? Fine. You know what? If you want to get me something, get me the Xenomorph, because I know the Xenomorph is in there. I want the Xenomorph. That's what I want. And then... Squeak! The doorknob twitched slightly. God, it's so loud. I can hear everything. I turned halfway. Once. Twice. The person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more and then... started clicking violently. My jaw cramped from fear. My wet fingers clutched the blanket. And the door creaked and opened. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now you'll see. The door was wide open. The darkness writhed inside the carnivorous mouth of a doorway. To Sha. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with the rusty hinges. I was trembling and stared by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out of the gaping black hole. To Knee. My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me. Wait a minute. Hold on here, Danger. Hold on. 3 hours out of a month? Are you kidding me? I don't have 3 hours most days. I figured what we were going to do is we're going to have a day where I was off entirely. You were going to be like, all right, let's just stream. We streamed Fortnite for 12 hours. Tosha, you asleep? My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. You know what? How about this? I will look at the shop. I'll do that. I will look at the shop and see what skin I want. I know the Xenomorph is in there, so I may go for the Xenomorph. I'm gonna scream from relief. Alia? I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Alia frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry. It's out there again, staring at me. Shoo her away, Tosha, please. I'm so scared. The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away and hid somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm Alia down. It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's going to harm you. Alia sobbed. Her little body shaking. It's just like a small shudder. Like, she's trying her best to believe me. But was I sure myself? I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch the video. Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you? Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have this scary bird? That question took me by surprise. Alright, let's watch Cinderella. Then my thoughts became tangled. That's a good movie. Fuzzy. What was that? What studied me with its eyes while dancing feverishly under the moon? The darkness was clinging to the window, and it couldn't be fooled by Grandma's old chants. Couldn't be satisfied with the feast of lard and long ashen hair. Tosha, you coming? Yes, yes, just a moment. My frickin' ears! I knew that was coming. My God, my ears! We'll plan out this, Danger. We're going to start Kingdom Hearts tonight. We'll get it planned out. We'll get something planned out. That's why I didn't want to laugh at Alia and her owl in the morning. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just from the silly thought that our morning guests could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet. Under the table. Behind the curtains where Alia hides. Tosha, come here! I felt like kettlebells were tied to my feet, but still dragged them toward the hallway. A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smelled like frost and worry. What does worry smell like? Mom has always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars. Worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Hello. The senior officer wore a grim expression nodded. A boy's gone missing yesterday. His name's Vova. Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to me. He looked like a grizzled cop. Probably drank 2 glasses of bourbon a night. There was a ginger boy around the age of elementary school. Pictured with a wall carpet as a backdrop, he had a striped cat in his hands and wore a wide smile. No, I haven't. Are you sure? Look closely. Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house. Well, maybe you've seen him from the window. That's right. Your window looks straight at the forest, don't they? The window. No, I haven't seen anything. I see. He sounded tired, but his eyes, his stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwittingly under the weight of guilt, which his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway, the stairway and the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason. I see no cracks. How do you like your new place, by the way? Are you getting used to it? Bit by bit. It's just our little daughter misses the city a lot. Misses the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well? Yes, everything is all right, thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with the brown eyes. My head started spinning. Can I help you somehow? I asked that in a shaky voice to look like a polite boy and to end this unpleasant conversation sooner. Now that I think about it, you look like just one of my nephews, little fella. He's a witty boy around your age, wears the same type of goggles. Always engrossed in reading those mystery novels. Told me he wants to enroll in police school when his family visited this summer. Wanted to help other people, just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative and not a police officer stood before me. You know what? Little boys like you should stay at home, steer away from trouble. The times have changed so much. Mom interjected in a cold voice. You don't say. Ah, well then, I will be on my way. What grade are you in, Anton? 6th. Have you made any friends here so far? Not yet, I'll be going to school for the first time after the break. Ah, then I'll leave you my number, just in case. Call me if you have any new info. The policemen were gone with their shadows, a smell of cheap cologne and a photo of a smiling boy. They were talking about snow and crunching underneath their boots. And they slammed the door. His face still stood before my eyes. I wondered what it was like for him being all alone there. For some reason, I thought of the forest swaying in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? What would my parents do if I'd gone missing? Would they cry and thrash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other like they always do and forget about me eventually? Mom, this Vova, did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it. Poor child. I looked out the window at the road. The police UAZ drove off towards the village. What's a UAZ? Soviet and Russian... I'm going to do my Russian. A Soviet and Russian off-road freight passenger car, brand which was produced on the old Ulyanovsk car factory. The officer's nephew came to mind when I was splitting off paint from the windowsill. I remembered all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I read this summer. Black Kitty! Series on contemporary Russian original or translated teen mystery books. So it's just mystery books. I was thinking it was like Boxcar Children. Your average boys and girls investigate all sorts of mysteries there. They looked for clues, spied on suspicious people. After a set of amazing adventures, BAM! Solved any complicated case. They became local celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. I noticed a trail of policemen's footprints that led to the forest. And then it clicked in my head. Why don't I start an investigation of my own? Because that's stupid! Maybe I'll find that lost boy. And I'll get a reward. Alia will be so happy. Not only Alia, Mom and Dad too. Maybe they'll even forget about the corals for a while. Maybe it'll even save us from the D word. I fantasized about buying Ollie a Tamagotchi and getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself. A whole box of Kinder Surprise! When was the last time our parents bought us any toys? I don't think your parents have ever bought you toys. I highly doubt it. Like, I doubt the mom will ever buy you toys. She's like, you want toys? Yes, mom, please. No, go play in sticks. I used to play with sticks and break tables when I was a child. Last autumn, I think. My dad had lost his job at the time. There's that annoying song about it. Song? Song by an all-female Soviet pop band by the name of Combination. Kolbensaya. Kombinatia. Combination became wildly popular in the early 90s. Me trying to pronounce other words is going to be the death of me. I had little to no idea what the accountant's job. What was the accountant's job like? They count money, I think. Neighbors used to envy us. But nowadays, Mom and Dad barely had enough money to afford sweets. Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Alia. Sometimes I gave her my share, too. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweet, she was still just a pipsqueak. She won't be if you give her all the chocolate! I couldn't wait to go out looking for clues. I'm going outside! Yeah, right. You want the police going around with your photograph next? The forest is so thick. What if the boy got snatched up by wild animals or something even worse? Even worse, echoed through the hallway. I won't go far or stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said, or should I repeat myself? Repeat yourself, mother! You with your green-gray eyes. Am I colorblind? Better go pack your school bag or play with Alia. God, that scared me. It's so loud. The sound of splashing water came from the kitchen. I meant the argument was over and Mom had the last word. God! I hate that. Okay, I've actually argued with my mom before, and I feel like all children have argued with their parents before. But I argued with my mom once over something like this, about what I call her golden gate. Where she will get to a point where she cannot... Yeah, Boxcar Children. My mom loves that book series. But my mom would get to, and the argument was called the Golden Gate, where she cannot argue anymore. And anytime we got into an argument and she'd be like, the conversation is done, I'd say, Mom, you've hit your golden gate, and walk off. And she would get pissed. She would always get annoyed. She would get mad that I had the last word. And I said, Golden Gate! I still do it to her to this day. That was, I want to say 5-6 years ago I started doing it. I'm 22 years old. I'm a man now. I love my mom. I respect her. But if we get into an argument and she's like, you know what, we're done with this conversation, like she'll go quiet and be like, no, I'm done. One, she knows she can't win the argument anymore. Two, she hits her Golden Gate and she gets mad. But I don't care. Right, what the? Did it freeze? Did it? No. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna open this. The dark, stuffy closet. Mom says it smells like mice, but how would you know their smell? Oh, she's a cat! She hates when I stick my nose in here. She's afraid I'll cut myself on the freshly sharpened axe. And Alia can't even be lured close. She thinks Babai is living in there. I tried to help fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned on a dim lamp so she would see there was nothing but cobwebs, Dad's tools, and scratched walls. She still didn't believe me. And I like to hide in the closet and listen to Alia chant outside, 1, 2, 3, better hide from me. And then drag her feet on the creaking floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster's den. Why did the Freddy Krueger song just pop up in my head? Can't I do this and see stuff? Yes, stuff. Got 1, 2, 3. A mom's peg top, a family relic. My mom played with it when she was little, then she gifted it to me. Alio's next in the succession line. The toy belonged to her now. She stared at the dancing spindle as if it could show her something, a fairy tale, maybe even our future. Now even my little sister was a bit too old for the squeaky peg top. Got a phone. My parents prohibited me from making long-distance phone calls, but from time to time, I really want to hear my old friends. Sometimes I'll just pick up the phone, listen to the low hum of the zoomer and the distant crackling, imagining the wind howling in the ice-leaden cords. Cross! The cross had seen so many people come and go in this house. It was black, and if it absorbed all human sin from the long years it was hanging over... Oh, it was black as if. After Grandma died, Mom was going to take it off and hang a horseshoe in its place as a lucky charm. But she cut herself with across a sharp corner and almost fell from the stepladder. She deserves it! Dad caught a sign from above and ordered the cross to be left alone in its rightful place. To kitchen. Calendar. Mom, it's a new day! The decrepit, stain-covered calendar was once my favorite form of entertainment in Grandma's house. I remembered waking up and running to the kitchen so I could tear off yesterday's leaf first thing in the morning, as if the coming day would get lost in the taiga forest without my help. One day closer to New Year's, one day closer to Grandma's funeral. I haven't touched this calendar for years now. Since the time I started writing dark and spooky death chants that only made me gloomy instead of funny proverbs and superstitions, to be exact. Hey, Danger, when are we going to start Kingdom Hearts? I grabbed the dusty calendar leaf with a caution and tore it off effortlessly. Sadly, the spooky descriptions from my childhood were still there. 7 horses carry the log. If 7 can't carry, bring the 8th from a fairy. They'll take it away and never come back. This is the fate that the log cannot escape. God, that's loud. I crumpled the gray leaf and threw it inside the waistband, hoping to get rid of the anxiousness that washed over me. It was spreading inside me like an ink stain on blotting paper. The side of an old ocean freezer was checkered with my childish drawings. Mom's recipes and all kinds of stickers from bubblegum with dinosaurs that Alia liked so much. Dinosaur, 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 horse. Among that still life picture hung a piece of rolled paper with the phone number of the police officer who visited us. First Lieutenant Tikhonov. I read inside my mind, looking at the officer's sprawling handwriting. A scrap of paper was held by 2 pieces of a broken magnet from some old Soviet toy, and those pieces just barely covered the numbers as if to taunt me. I leaned toward it to unveil the mystery and take the piece to a safer place where it would wait for its time when I would finally find Vova and be the first to call the police with the happy news. Anton! Mom's approachful eyes stared at me. What do you need it for? Hands off, you'll lose it. Angering my mom was the last thing I wanted, so I lowered my hand. I don't want to open anything. Mom! Mom! It's difficult to lie to Mom, but there's no other way for me to run away from home. Mom! Something's wrong with the TV! The picture's dim and there are stripes all over the screen. Mom's face became visibly distorted. Ah, you're killing me here! You're killing me, Smalls! See, have you had enough of Boo shooting those stupid ducks now? No. Told you the kinescope would go dim because of her console. Where will we find a TV technician in this hole, huh? Maybe it's just the settings? Please go see for yourself, Mom. Strange, it worked fine this morning. Maybe the snowfall caused it? Mom rubbed her hands clean on her apron and went to Alia's room. And I quickly swiped the paper! Senior Lieutenant Tikhonov Konstantin Vladimirovich. Turn back. Alright, sounds good. It's a good game. I'll find out which chat version from our Discord chat. Oh, 1.5 plus 2.5. If you add it up, it makes 4. If you add it up, it makes 4. I opened the front gate and went into the field. Carefully, so Mom wouldn't see me from the window. I've got to turn this volume down. When I crossed half of the distance toward the forest, the snow piles became high as my knees. I remember my nightly fears. I saw those silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. That hypnotizing music started playing in my head all on its own. I have to sneeze. God, I hate sneezing. Someone's talking about me. In the light of the day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares to ash, but the long aftertaste was still there, distant ringing in my ears, distorted shadows crawling in the snow alongside me. And a barely audible whisper in my head, blurry and almost kind. Everything was silent, even though there were whispers. So silent, I felt like the world was totally empty. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Alia. The time reached its limit, a one-way trip that ended at the forest's piney stockade. Sometimes silence was much scarier than any scream. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing, and both me and Alia turned to stone, listening to them. But then always came the ringing silence. Our apartment became numb in a couple of days before we departed. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around, laughing, or spent time together, almost like it was all in a previous life. When they kissed Alia with present, she always frowned and snorted in a funny way. But one day it all changed. When the Fire Nation attacked, something important had left our home. And something scary filled the remaining void. It wasn't love. It wasn't love. It was as if a fire broke out, and our parents were hurriedly packing our belongings, trying to save themselves and us. What if? Yes, the remakes. That is correct. Yeah, because that one has the first game, like, you don't want to go story-based chronological, which I don't get, but you know what? Okay. So you got the first game. Kingdom Hearts 1 is what we're going to go through first. We're going to play it in actual release order, and it's pretty much the 1.5 plus 2.5, and then all these are essentially you play in the order you're supposed to not play them in, but how they released. This a fire broke out, and our parents were hurriedly packing... Oh, I already saved that. From who, though? From the people with dead cold eyes? Who sometimes visit our previous home? The eyes that only saw balls of worms in the black of ground of everything. And somewhere far away was a siren going off, trying to warn us of the coming menace. How would you like to receive updates? I don't want to receive updates, not while I'm streaming. What is this? Oh. Oh well. Something stupid. I shuddered, chasing away my delusions, and looked around. These were only me. This white field and the wind that was whipping up icy dust and belts of powdered snow. I squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark in contrast with the blinding whiteness. Knobby tree roots slithered under the snow like fat snakes. Rotten leaves and coniferous needles froze into the ice. I see something. Dry, prickly branches intertwined, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. Were they protecting the forest? Or were they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from one of the pointy branches. I tried to get closer, drowning in the snow, and when I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. A mitten. It looked like a wounded bird among the hungering semi-dark. Should I take it to the police? I would. The senior officer looked gloomy, but he still reminded me of the Captain Casanova from my favorite TV show called The Street of Broken Lights. Russian mystery TV series telling a story of a daily life of a Russian police officers. It's the longest running series in the history of Russian TV at the moment. Oh, that's neat. He was always so anxious, with tired looks in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this mitten help them find the lost boy? Vova! I heard a distant shout, like it came from the river. As if the trees were calling out to someone. Vova! Resounded closer to me. Two add-ons? Add-ons? What do you mean add-ons? Oh, do you mean the other games? Because you got to download the 1.5 plus 2.5. If we're going in release order, like I said, 1.5 first, that has 6 things on there, so we can go through the 6 there. Then you can get rid of that and get the, it's 2.8? Yeah. Then you get 3 and then Memory of Melody. Someone standing there behind the trees. Hiding. Vova! I knew someone was looking for the lost boy, but still. Something was unsettling about that figure. I don't see a figure. It's stillness. How it bent unnaturally toward the ground. I don't see anything. It's blackness. There's no one there, just branches and roots. It's all just my imagination. A nearby bird flapped its wings loudly. A shadow split from the tree and disappeared from my sight. I looked away for a moment, but when I turned my gaze back to the same place, it was gone. So it was my imagination after all. Silence reigned for a painfully long time. Send me a screenshot. Like, take a picture and send it to me, because I have no clue what you're talking about the additional scene and theater. Because you unlock... Because I swear, if I played through those games and got the theater, which is... Yeah, send me a picture, because I have no clue what you're talking about. My muscles were tightly sprung. My heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any little movement, any small whisper from the thicket, and I'd sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the mitten once more. We're gonna take the mitten. We're gonna take the mitten. Or should I run away? Or should I take the mitten? The running away is safe. But the mitten. We're gonna take the mitten. Before I'm blinded. I decided to take the lonely mitten from the branch and turn off my PlayStation 4 in the background. Ah! Over! I didn't know that was coming. A shout rumbled across the field and dissolved into the distance. No echo, no hope for a reply. I stepped toward the bristling trees and tried to claim my find. It didn't budge. I pulled harder. The branch cracked and the mitten tore off, landing my hand with a squishy sound. All too heavy. Wet. I squeezed without thinking, and something dark spilled from it, forming a tiny string. Danger sent me a picture. Weird. I don't have that, or it must be... Hold on, now you've got me confused. What? Maybe it's because mine came with a disc, because I have everything on there. You got me confused, Danger. Additional C. I have all this stuff. What is all this? What is all this? Like, I've seen all this. I know what's going on. Weird. I squeezed forming a tiny string between the mitten and the snow. Somebody added me on Discord. What? Oh, it was you. Huh, weird. Steam rose from the snow pile, and my eyes were blinded by the blood! Is it black paint? I froze in place, setting my palms in disgust. Red. The sound of cracking branches invaded the silence. I didn't have to think twice before running away. Someone was chasing me from the darkness, breaking pine branches, closing the distance with giant leaps. Snow was slowing me down. Crazy thoughts flew through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. But there was one more voice, probably one of reason. It gave me strength and spurred me on. You could do it! Don't stop! I heard an animal roar behind me and I picked up the pace. It was so loud my ears went numb. It felt like the sound had come from a pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. The nostrils sucked in freezing air. They sensed my fear. Two giant wings flapped above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing, a hoot, a wheeze. The roars were coming from all directions now. From the dried up raspberry bush, from twisted pines, run to the windfall. Hurry, run, don't look back. I felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snowy clearing became viscous like quicksand. I was stuck in place. I pulled my leg from the mushy trap just to be caught in a new one, even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every desperate push. Was snow ever this sticky? I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't snow. Someone or something in the snow pile was clutching my pants. I gathered all my strength and rushed forwards. The pressure on my leg was gone, my boots slipped out of the hole, and my soles were on a hard surface again. I reached a clear path with one jump, and from there ran to my house. Its gloomy facade didn't look threatening now. That house was my line of defense from the shadows that flapped their wings and the creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tripped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. In all my hurry, I still managed to notice the claw marks, as if a dog was striking the wood with its paws, demanding to be let in so it could escape the cold. I had noticed these marks when I was leaving. The heartbeat in my eyes were much louder than my surroundings. I couldn't hear whether someone was following me or not. What if they were already in the front yard and Mom had locked the door? Drowning in fear, I had pulled on the doorknob and it obediently gave way. I rolled down the hallway and shut the door behind me. Porch planks creaked as my pursuers ascended the stairs. My fingers slipped off the lock and I couldn't click it into place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the iron knob, whipping it between the boards. I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the other side of the pitiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less useful than blankets. A wheezing breath reached into the house and crashed at me in waves. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom peeked out of the kitchen and chastised me with the same frigid voice she always used when talking to my dad. What exactly didn't you understand when I told you never to slam the door? I know you're not upset that I left whenever you told me not to, but still. I didn't mean to. I stuck a glance at the door. The smell was gone and the breath was too. If there was someone in the first place, of course. Here, mere 5 meters away from my mom, my fear was slowly weakening, melting like snow in spring, and with it, the last bit of strength I had left my body too. I had left my body too. My legs gave way. I propped myself against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. Mom's expression had changed immediately. The cold mask of strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked at me the same as before all those quarrels. She finally saw my condition, wet pants, plastered with snow. Where have you been? What did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home. Am I nothing to you? Are you gaslighting me? I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was little and wanted her to cuddle me. Mom regained her composure fast and put on her usual face. Her eyes shined like steel. Her voice rang out. Your dad can't find the cigarettes. Be honest, did you snatch them? Were you smoking in secret? Wow, Mom, thanks. There was someone chasing me, I thought. I shuddered as soon as I started explaining myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned towards me and sniffed my clothes like a beast, searching for the smell of Tabasco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant and she covered her mouth with her hand. Look over there! At the fence! My heart started thumping as if I became prey once again, and my pursuers were following me in the field. I could swear that I've heard something scratch at the door, just like in my nightmare. Mom beckoned me with her finger, and I gathered all my remaining bravery to look into the kitchen window, facing my fears. Like in the hit game Kingdom Hearts, let me face my fears. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming in the snow through the icy winter patterns on the glass. Dogs! Just a small pack of strays with no name and owner, barely reminding of the hungry monsters that live on the edge of the forest. Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you, Anton. Oh, you'd think. Something was chasing me. I think. Something was definitely happening behind me in those snowy woods. They were chasing me, like a bunny. Don't smile at my... don't smile at my fears, mother. You're a horrible mother. What if the rabbit? Smile had slowly disappeared from Mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it was the first time seeing them. What if they attack Alia? Thanks! Thanks! Thank you, Mother. I'm so glad you care about me. Mom? I wish your dad could just shoot them all. Mom, look, they're alive. Huh? What? Are they your friend or foe, after all? Make up your mind. You're not a little kid anymore. Mom sighed in annoyance, and I felt so bitter that I bit my lower lip and fixed my gaze in the cobweb-ridden corner just to keep myself from crying. Well, some detective I am. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. You could have died. And what for? What use do I have for this? Mitten! Mitten! Of course! A dark, sticky mitten that belonged to the lost boy made a squishy sound in my hand. Seems like I was clutching it the whole time. That's what my trump card is as a detective. I hurried to present this clue to my mom. Mom, look! This is Vova's mitten. That boy the police were asking about in the morning. It's drenched in blood. I found it hanging in a tree. I can show where. Let's call the police officer right away, like the officer had told us to. Mom, look! Ew! A shadow of doubt slowly crept on Mom's contorted face, as if she was trying to remember something distant, like someone tries to remember the dream, but the image slips away. Stop at this moment! Alia will go insane if she hears you. She already has trouble sleeping and whines all the time. Then do a better job. And you joke around like this? At that moment, I realized the mitten was actually wet from snow. There was no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink through the floor from embarrassment. Come here, my boy, who cried Wolf. Oh, don't just stand there. Come on, take your pills. A golden-colored pill, reminiscent of a dead wasp, fell into my palm. I already took one during breakfast. Don't talk over me. Am I being drugged by the mom? Am I being drugged? Why do I feel like this is the worst mom ever? This is like Mom in Promised Neverland. I told you to stay home until you. Dad would have given you a good whooping for that. Come on, take it, or you won't be able to sleep at night. And you have school tomorrow. I'm being drugged. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with similarly awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. Maybe it wasn't Vova's mitten. Maybe it wasn't a mitten at all. Just like the Forest of Monsters. And Alia's owl. Am I going mad? No! What's happening to me? You've been drugged! The pill had an immediate effect, or my overexerted brain didn't let fear inside anymore. Serenity washed over me, bringing yawny indifference along with it. Anton, you done? See? You can do it when you try. Take off your coat. Are you asleep? Mom, you've drugged me. No, Mom, I was just thinking... What about, I wonder? It's just something silly. Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes. As if she wasn't sure she was looking at her own son and not some doppelganger that came from the forest. Is everything alright? No, Mother! You had the exact same expression when the policeman asked you about the window. I'm alright, Mom. She heaved a deep sigh. Fine. It seemed like the house had changed. The sofa's fabric had become discolored. Everything was black and white and gray. I don't understand. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different. Dimmer and yellower. It seems gray to me. Even the saliva inside my mouth had a different taste. It tastes gray to me. Little melody from Aladdin could be heard. Wasn't it with one L or was it with two L's? Heard that before. All I was done rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episodes and switch other tapes. Prince Ali, mighty is he, Alibaba. Slowly change into my home clothes. Stopped before the sink and studied my reflection in the mirror. Like I was trying to solve one of those spot the difference puzzles. So then I went upstairs. Jafar and Iago's voices died down. I walked past Alia's bedroom and slipped into my own. Let's... Do I have stuff to look at? Probably I do. Ah! I dreamt of becoming an artist since Dad bought me my first comic book. Fly was the coolest. I especially like the big space-related edition Alien Monsters. Periodical Comic Magazine, Crazy 90s. Okay. Nothing important. I was writing all the kind of stuff that day. Seemed to be pretty good at it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. One of my letters even got published in Fly once. Maybe someday they'll publish my comic. Wait a minute. The forest didn't look as grim during the day. Entangled tree branches in the distance and the snowy field between our house and the forest brought sleepiness to my eyes. But sometimes I'll catch myself looking in the window at the icy treetops instead of doing my homework. Are we not going to comment on, presumably, my sister standing there with her slippers that look like they're on the wrong feet? We're going to open this. One of the drawers was empty. I hid the policeman's phone number along with a mitten there. The simple action drained the last bit of my strength from me. I sat on the bed. And only then I noticed there was someone behind the curtains, even though we looked at the curtains. My tired hand dropped to the sheets. Whether it was due to the medication I took or the stress I underwent, the room began to contort as if the wind was blowing the walls out like a pair of sails. Corners of the room bent and undulated. The only stable thing in the whole room was the figure between the windowsill and the curtains. A flimsy piece of cloth was stuck to my hidden visitor. It reminded me of burial sheets. Alia? Who else would be standing there? I stood up and licked my dried up lips. Yeah, Alia, it's so funny. The silhouette was unmoving. It was enveloped softly by the curtains. As if there was a thick layer of darkness there, not a human being. I reached toward the curtains. But beat my heart. Controlled by medication. The wind sang in the field with the chorus of voices. For a second, didn't mean to do that. You know, I haven't saved. Let's just save. It's a good spot to save. With the heartbeat. For a second, I wanted to return to the bed, just lie down and watch the person behind the curtain, knowing full well they were looking back at me. They were looking without blinking, waiting for me to fall asleep. Plastic rings rustled against the holder when I pulled against the curtains. Gotcha! No, you didn't. I knew it was you from the beginning. Oh, she looks so sad. A blindingly bright halo lit up above Alia's head with the setting sun as the background. My sister was shining. When she was just a baby, Dad always used to say she was shining with happiness. I was retorted, but Dad, she's not some flashlight. But I brought her to the window one day, and sunlight poured onto her smiling face. It felt like I was holding a light-woven child. I saw everything. Oh, really? What did you hide? She was just like my mom when she was little, before putting on her sad mask of tiredness and switching to her commanding tone of voice. Oh, wait, is this all past? Is this all past? She was just like my mom when she was little. It's nothing, just... Alia ran up to the table, her eyes round, and asked, You stole something and hid it there? Are you a thief? What? Don't be stupid. I didn't steal anything. A clear image came to mind, that mitten hanging from a tree branch. What if I did steal it after all? Choice-based. From the forest, from the tilted figure standing behind the black trees. Alia could be selfish and stubborn when she wanted. Then show me! I swear you won't tell anyone, then I'll show you. Alia wore a plotting smile. That's definitely wrong. You know that she's evil. I swear on Mom's heart. An oath she heard in one of the movies about the pioneers we've watched. Umbrella term for communist children organizations considered in the world, somewhat reminiscent of the Scout movement. Don't say things like that. Alia nodded and made a gesture with her hand, locking her mouth with an imaginary key. She was filled with curiosity that was splashing in her giant eyes. I opened the drawer and Alia leaned in, holding her breath. It looked as if there was not a simple mitten, but some sort of exotic critter. Is this someone's mitten? She says that as if she couldn't understand what she saw. A certain boy lost it, and got lost himself. Now do you understand how dangerous it is for kids to wander into the forest, right? It must be really cold out there. Will they find him? They will. Dead or alive. Police are going house to house showing his photo to everybody. Oh, she has a tiny bunny on her. A tiny bunny! Ollie had traversed the room with care and pressed her tiny palms against the window. And why are they going houses, not the forest? Are they scared? That question caught me off guard. It's a fair question. The police aren't scared of anything. Not true! They've already scouted the forest. Yeah, right, flashed in my cloud of mind. Do they really check every nook and cranny where darkness, cold, and whispers of icy branches dwell? If that's the case, how did they miss the mitten? Or did it appear later for me? I changed the topic. As if trying to get Ollie as far away as possible from the forest thicket. We may get a reward if I go and find this boy myself. A lot of stuff like in the Wheel of Fortune. Sounds cool, right? Alia wasn't listening to me. She was stuck in her way. Why is that thing? A wheel of Field of Wonders. She was piercing the forest with incredibly adult eyes, uncharacteristic for her. What if the owl got him? Nonsense! An owl won't be able to lift a human. But you know what? I was picking my words with the utmost care. I forced them out of my overexerted brain. Stay away from the forest. I think it's... How should I put it? It's cursed or something. Just like in a fairy tale? No, more like in that spooky tape our parents hide from us. Alia shivered and stole a glance at the window. I saw you running away. Was someone chasing you? No, it's just I was hurrying back home so Mom wouldn't be worried. I looked at my sister. My heart was tearing apart. She was so fragile. It was so easy to stifle her light. A gust of wind and a small fire would be gone. You're lucky. Mom won't even let me go outside. That's why I'm white. That's why I'm so pasty. I used to be tan, brother. I'm like a princess in the tower. I can't go in her. I used to be tan. Now the snow's darker than me, brother. I'll die from boredom here. I can't even make a snowman. I want Olaf. You're wrong. No one has ever died of boredom. I'm sure someone has. And you have me in your cartoons, and Mom and Dad will be good to each other soon. You know what I would wish for my next birthday? Wish for Mom and Dad to turn into children so we could play together like we used to. Yeah, and if you'd make them as small as bugs, we could put them in a little box. Alia giggled and tugged at my sleeve. That's creepy. Tosha, let's go watch Aladdin. Fatigue won over my desire to be with my little sister, so I was washed over by some sort of heinous apathy. I'm too tired. I don't want to. Come on. It's so boring alone. Mom's always busy. Pick a cartoon you haven't seen before. I know all of our tapes by heart at this point. Not all of them. You haven't watched Peter Pan. Remember how you fell asleep in the middle of it? And so much happens after that. Let's go, let's go! Maybe a bit later. Should I tell you how it ends? Let's leave that for tomorrow. I won't tell you tomorrow. I know, let's play hide and seek. Did she have little tears in her eyes? No, Alia. Then draw me a dino? Alia, please. Draw it, draw it! Leave me alone already! I blurted it out without thinking, and then I was immediately taken aback. I'd never screamed at my little sister like that. Alia stared at me in shock. Her lips started trembling, a precursor to tears. My chest was seething with disgust and embarrassment. What's happening to me? I hurried to prevent Alia from crying. Alright, you win. Let's go watch cartoons for a bit. I don't wanna. I came up to her, put her hand on my soft head. Put her hands... Let me... My brain. Put my hand on her soft head. Let's go. Let's go watch Peter Pan. Boo! You'll fall asleep again! I smiled and lifted her chin. Her eyes were wet and felt bottomless. I promise I won't. I'll draw you a full Triceratops later. Hooray! Sire Pops. Sire Pops. Well, close enough. Alia rubbed her eyes with the sleeve of her pajamas, and the shining smile returned to her face. I'll go ask Mom for some condensed milk and bread, and you rewind the tape. The bread is fresh, just like how you like it. Alright, be careful not to spill the milk. Or be yelled at again. Or you'll be yelled at again. Want to bet I won't spill it? Tape is somewhere in the nightstand. Look for it. Ollie disappeared in the doorway, and I dragged my feet into the neighboring room. Hold on. Dun 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 dun. I can't do it. Ollie has countless toys. An old teddy bear is the main attraction here. Ollie doesn't sleep without it. She digs her nose into its fur when she sleeps. Curtains. Let's look at stuff. Let's look. The scary window where Ollie sees that accursed owl every night, lurking in the dark. Ollie keeps curtains open during the day, but as soon as the twilight comes, she shuts them so tight, so she wouldn't see a pair of hungry eyes outside. The old photon TV was gathering dust in the corner. All that was left was a clicking button in the front panel. The tube warmed up with familiar white noise and started dancing on the black screen. I almost reached out to turn on the VCR when the noise calmed down and a blurry image appeared for a moment. It was a dark taiga forest, just like the one outside my... Then the picture itself split the screen in half. Something creepy resembling human speech was coming out of the speaker. Just a few moments later, the scenery was overshadowed by the noise. Did it catch some rogue signal? Local TV station really only showed Soviet cartoons, and that was pretty rare. And only just recently I used to watch Robotech before school. It was so awesome. Maybe I should tinker with the antenna. What if I catch a signal again? On the other hand, Ollie asked me to find the tape. It wouldn't be nice to disappoint her. But in my sleepy state, I didn't have the strength to do all of it. Find the tape? Now let's set the TV. The picture finally cleared up. But the moment I rejoiced at finding the weird signal, the TV started coughing and a voice barely coming through the cacophony. He was often seen at the moment when snowy hills were lined up on the screen, piercing with rickety crosses, and a male voice was narrating with a slow, mournful voice. Okay. Okay, then I gotta change this. Hold on, let me get in my position. What do you say? Slow, mournful. He was often seen at the moment when it was a pitch black night in the cemetery. In that fateful dark time, little Senya met her fate at the face of a monstrous thicket dweller. Let me do this, make it even better. The locals call him none other than the Forest Master. I froze and did my best not to move. As if by doing that I could scare away the narrator, I listened to it closely to his every word. The beast dealt with the helpless girl in a masterful manner. The camera panned across the snow. Some black spilled over it. That's not black. Looking for ragged pieces of cloth that were thrown around all over the place. Okay, it is black. I didn't want to think whether Senya's remains were wrapped in there, so I shut my eyes without thinking. Oh, I saw something. I saw a hand. Did I see a hand? I think I saw a hand. That's a hole. I think I saw a hand. Did I see a hand? I did. The voice continued. Wolves are rare guests in these parts. Here's what Tamara, the old woman that lives in a nearby crypt, had to say. A close-up shot of the face of an old homeless woman, weary from life and alcohol abuse, rattled on the screen.
Yes, yes. Such a fearsome beastie it is, worse than the rising dead.
The old woman splattered saliva all over the rectangular mic. Disgusting.
And the stink. It's like...
The rest of her comparison was swallowed up by the sound of a horn.
I've never felt anything like it. It was just standing there. Yes, right where you stand, boyo. And piercing with its eyes, right in the middle of the day. It was so huge, that one, with glassy eyes.
Obscenities were covered up by another beep.
You know, they say if this demon lays its eyes on you, it'll snatch you, put you into his bag, and you're done. Ha 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 ha, but he won't touch me, hee hee. Likes me, it seems. So they even call me the devil's wench.
And it's definitely true. The carnivorous monster will not touch those who fell off the level of the forest beasts, going for the innocent child's blood instead. The Forest Master's presence is felt more and more in the outskirts of our country. Torn between believing in what was said and shrugging it away, I decided to help record the remaining part of the documentary. Documentary, for some reason. Documentary. Why did I say it like that? Oh, I quickly grabbed the tape that was on top of the TV and put it in the VCR without even looking at the cover. I pressed record and turned the sound up and paid attention to the slipping signal. It's not called the Forest's Master for nothing. All the animals obey it, be they hairy or feathery. They're all precursors for its appearance. If you hear howls in the distance, then it most likely already knows where you live. If you find animal prints all over your doorstep or birds watching from the trees, you better hide. It's already coming for you. And if you wake up at night and see a pair of eyes in your window, then soon, then soon, then soon, then soon, then soon, then soon. The TV suddenly went mad and looped the last word over and over, piercing my ears. I got goosebumps all over my spine. The tape ended and was rewinding to the beginning. The sound of rustling tape around me of leaves in the wind and the low howl of the beast. I woke up from my stupor and pressed the button. The VCR ejected the tape. For a moment, I thought it was stained with saliva. But it was just light from the chandelier making the plastic look glossy. Then I saw the cover. Oops! I recorded over Peter Pan. That's what I get for hurrying. It was bad enough that I'd ruined Alia's cartoon, but I also put this creepy stuff over it. I can't let her see this. We'll drown in tears. I snuck a glance at the door. You hear the clatter of glass and squeaky floorboards. Ollie appeared in the doorway. You haven't started without me, have you? My sister brought condensed milk. Okay. My sister brought a tray of unevenly cut bread and a whole can of condensed milk. No. I was looking for the tape. Do you really want to watch Peter Pan? I do. Turn it on already. Mom will come watch a Brazilian drama soon. Come to think of it, fake detective. Come on, think, fake detective. You know what? I didn't like Peter Pan. Maybe we should watch Little Mermaid instead. I've already seen it so many times. And you promised me. She's so stubborn. I mean, you did promise her. I know, let's watch a couple of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle episode first. Deal? Ollie frowned, but ultimately gave up. She put down the tray and crossed her hands on her chest. If you want it so much, can you open the milk can? I'm afraid I'll cut myself with the sharp edges. As I stood up, colorful dots popped before my eyes, and my sore legs were pierced by thousands of needles. Only when I reached the sofa, I realized the can was already open. Alia tricked me, played me for a fool. My stomach became heavy. Alia! I rushed toward the TV, but my sister was faster. She picked the remote and proclaimed in a victorious tone, Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha! As remote's master, I command you to watch Peter Pan. I couldn't even open my mouth, and the VCR had been eaten by the cursed tape. She'll play it, and then... Black crosses on unnamed graves, empty crypts, bloody scraps in the snow, and the insane devil's wench. I'd better tell the truth. Alia, stop! I erased the end of your tape by accident. I'll trade with you for 2 of mine. What do you mean? You couldn't erase it. Me and Dad had broken off all those plastic pins with a screwdriver. You can't record anything over my cartoons now. My sister pressed a triangular play button on the remote. Hey, look, it's Tinker Pan. Tinker Pan. Peter Pan. A squeeze on the inside, awaiting the out-of-this-world voice of the narrator. But I saw the duel between Peter Pan and Captain Hook instead. I sighed in relief. My head, heavy as a leaden ball, now rested in my hands. Alia smiled in joy. She put the tape on rewind and started spreading milk over her bread. When the cartoon started, she forgot about everything in the world. As if she really got transported to the Neverland like she always wished. To be honest, I also imagine myself there, in a land where no one ever ages, where no one argues over little things, where no one listens to fights and the sound of the broken plates at night. But now Peter Pan's land was especially far away from me. My thoughts dragged on, stumbled upon the horned beast that awaited me among the trees, and the narrator's mournful voice haunted me, sliding over bushes and ravines. Like a winged carnivore would track its prey. It felt like I was dreaming with my eyes split open. Still open. Then my sister's scream pulled me back to reality. Tosha, shut the curtains fast! Why? No one's watching you. It's dark, and when it's dark, the owl comes. I'm scared. Is that not... What is that? What is that? Is that an eye peering through? I got out of bed, fighting my drowsiness, and closed the curtains. Alligator. Hook. Hook looks different. I did my best not to look outside, towards the tree tops, toward the taiga forest, which seemingly drew closer and closer. Of course, there was a visual effect from the shadows of branches scraping the snow. Tosha, Mom thinks I made the owl up. I promise I didn't. I'm only partially crazy. Yeah, partially crazy is the right way. And Dad, too, thinks I'm a liar since I'm small. But the owl exists. Honestly, it does. You believe me, right? That it comes every night and... I swiftly grabbed Alia's hand and looked her in the eye. I was trying to transfer at least some of my courage and determination. But did I really have those qualities? Yes, I believe you, all right. Just don't nag our parents about it anymore. They're already dealing with a lot, so they'll get mad at you. Come and tell me if anything happens. And don't look out the window. But it wants me to look. Doesn't matter. Act like it doesn't exist and never existed, like it's made up, just like Mom and Dad say. It'll get tired of waiting and fly away. We followed Peter Pan's adventures as if nothing had happened, as if the forest didn't kidnap kids, as if our parents weren't tearing each other apart bit by bit. Captain Hook was running away from the crocodile, and Captain Pan was headed to London on a gilded sailboat. By some miracle, I lasted longer than my little sister. Alia's eyelids had dropped. She started snorting lightly, resting her chin on the side of the bed. The chorus was singing the ending song. The world of Disney was lit up by a silvery moon. And the demon is there. Another moon peeked from under the first one. Scary and wan, hanging over the taiga forest. Terrific report got recorded right over the credits. I don't think so. My throat went dry, my pulse became faster. I looked towards Alia. She smacked her lips in her sleep. I squeezed her mouth with all my might, ready to press stop at any moment. I rewound the recording, checked if it was intact, then carefully took out the tape. The protective pin was still in place. I stood up and left Alia's room. Whether it was by providence or curse, I hid the tape alongside the mitten at the exact moment Mom peeked into my room. Enough playing around. It's your first day at school tomorrow. Go to bed. You should sleep properly. You don't want to be teased for being sleepy, right? Adults think everything is so simple. As if the sound would ensure my classmates would like me. As if sound sleep. I covered myself with a blanket, up to my neck, and listened to the house humming, to something invisible rustling in the corners. My inner voice had a question for me. Do I want to hear that mysterious flute again? Yes or no? Maybe it's part of growing up, and I can't fully understand my own desires. You know what? I don't know if it's like episodic, like how Telltale is, but I'm going to save. Again, because I haven't saved in a hot minute. 20 minutes. Maybe it's part of my growing up and I can't fully understand my own desires. The forest wailed behind the barrier that was my walls. Some ethereal entity wandered the field. Branches shook as if it was calling for me. The wind howled on and on in the night. My thoughts were like annoying flies that entered my head before becoming weak and tangled. I didn't notice how I fell into slumber. You never do. It has come, after all. The day I feared most. The first day of a new school term. Alright, so it is just time to go. Okay, so it does go through. Great. Episode 2, I'm now in completely new territory. I don't know anything about episode 2. This is great. Okay, now I don't know anything, so now we're literally going in. Like, I knew chunks of episode 1. Like, I forgot the part of the tape. I remember the wolf, so let's... Okay. New game. New school, new teachers, and most importantly, new classmates, who I always have trouble connecting with. Like other kids with glasses, probably. I forced myself to get out of my warm bed. Dad would usually drive me to my old school, but this morning the bedroom of my parents was silent. Did they sleep in? Maybe it was a good thing. I didn't want to get the daddy's boy reputation from day one. My parents were probably still tucked in, dreaming about the good old days, when everything was so simple and easy. Sweet dreams, even if far removed from reality. I silently sneaked out of the first floor so I wouldn't wake up anybody, especially the peacefully sleeping Alia. Oh, this is even worse. I did my best to step in the middle of every floorboard. I used to play like this, even in our old apartment. If my soles touched a space between the floorboards, it counted as if stepping in lava. The clock was spurring me on with its hands. I don't see a clock. I need to hurry. Faster! Faster! I was too fast, so I needed to circle the hallway once again. Boiling lava was bursting out of the cracks between the floorboards. I needed to watch my step to survive at any cost. Hippity-hop, like a frog jumping on molehills, like a fearful bunny in a grove full of wolves. No, I made a sandwich in the kitchen, shoved it down my throat, and drank it with a cold tea. My appetite was as good as someone being led off the scaffold toward a guillotine. I lowered my gaze and saw one of my feet was standing on two floorboards at the same time. Burnt to a crisp, huh? I moved my foot. Disgusting little snakes writhed in my belly, the fear of getting hit and being called nasty names. The clock clicked. I need to go. It was dark outside, fitting for an early winter morning. The darkness never fully left the houses around here. I took my time, tying my shoes, buttoning up the puffy down jacket, trying to delay my unpleasant exit into the semi-dark, into the unnerving unknown. I rubbed my glasses for good luck, though I couldn't remember a single time these thick pieces of glass brought me any good fortune. The sky was akin to a giant bruise. On the east side of it, a black cloud was falling up. It licked up... Excuse me, bird! Stars in the sky and extinguished the rising sun. Darkness was plastered all over the treetops. The cautious cries of birds got tangled up in the thicket. I locked the front door with a long key that I wore around my neck. My parents made me wear this noose, afraid that I, being a total klutz that I am, could lose the key otherwise. Someone's stepping around behind me. I don't like it. The wind whizzed on the other side of the gate. It invited me into my new life towards dubious adventures. And tagged alone like an old buddy, pushing me in the back. Wide shadows that pines throughout covered a third of the clearing. Why am I walking out here? What am I gonna see? I'm gonna see some super spooky eyeballs staring at me. Like, I don't like this. I'm gonna see the owl. I guarantee you I'm gonna see the owl. Upon reaching the edge of the forest, I hid my nose in the coat's collar. I was squeezing through the thin fire break. My hair ruffled up and my back hunched over. Tall trees stood on both sides of the tiny trail as something ran behind me. A snowy blanket rustled under my feet, and the canopy of intertwined branches above my head cut me off from the already sparse starlight. The night had no plans of moving away from the forest. In this darkness, trees reminded me of shaggy old women that smelled of burial earth. The trunks turned into cracked, wrinkled faces with holes in the middle of their mouths. If I lost focus, even for a moment, mold-covered witches would drag me into the forest depths. Then my parents would be walking around these parts, screaming my name. But the dead can't answer the living. You say that. Hi, Grandma. Or can they? A sense of panic was growing in my chest. I was fine. Let me turn the volume up so I can get the actual full figures again. I was fine with Dad carrying me into the school in his hands by now if it saved me from watching the darkness rise up the ravines like black dough. It felt like someone jumped into the bushes behind me, so I turned around. As soon as I started walking faster, I heard the snow squeak behind me. The forest took a deep breath with its giant lungs. The windfall cracked. The wind and the birds were left behind in the field. Now I could only hear the forest creak. I walked, listening closely, and the unseen presence grew stronger, as if someone was following me, trying to match the pace of my footsteps. I turned my head so fast I made my neck crunch. A tiny trail behind me disappeared in the darkness. Tree branches overlapped, forming a natural tunnel. Who's there? The question escaped my lips and dissolved in the unending creaking sound of the wooden idols, the pines around me. Why did I think going through the forest alone was a good idea? I'm either going mad, or someone had intentionally lured me away from home. Distant lights granted me a smidgen of hope. A country road! I ran there as fast as I could, as if afraid the trail would shrink. Clawed hands gripped me by the shoulders, turned me around to make me look at the faces of hungry forest denizens. In the end, nobody stopped me. I almost flew to the decrepit wooden bridge, disbelieving my luck. The bridge's supports bathed in a spring terry, ice cold. Put my hands on my knees and looked up at the forest, then snorted, trying to calm my breathing. I think it was pretending to be asleep. It looked peaceful, lifeless. The remaining part of my commute lied through a snow-laden road, illuminated by sparse lamplights. Well, this seems like a zombie apocalypse kind of thing. It's like 2 in the frickin' morning, dark everywhere, no life. Why am I doing this? Like, honestly, why? What kind of stupid thing? I am stupid. I am an idiot because I'm walking through this. God, it's awful. I'm an idiot. I chased away bad thoughts and ran as fast as I could, from one circle of light to another, seeking protection from the electric lamps. Oh, it's like the movie Lights Out. I think just like in that game, we need to be the first to proclaim, I'm protected! Tag? Tag. How did I possibly know? It's just that, in this case, that protection was flimsy at best, with darkness writhing outside its bounds. No! No! Then I noticed something remarkably eerie. In a place where the light from an inclined lamp couldn't reach, a hairy, crooked shadow came alive with a guttural roar. I almost felt like its features turned light. Its unnatural pose instilled fear. There's another chicken outside my fence! My eyes almost popped out of the sockets as I stood there blinking, trying to chase away that illusion. The shadow. Okay, I don't like this. But the shadow didn't disappear and got even closer. My insides were gripped by horror. I stepped back and almost fell into a snow pile. The black silhouette, on the other hand, straightened up and addressed me in a sweet voice. Sneaking around, huh? Trying to steal my soul? Words got stuck in my throat. Who could be talking to such a silky voice here, between the forest and the dormant village? Will you say something, dummy? I can't cut your tongue. Alright, I'll bite your nose off then. That'll teach you not to poke at places doesn't belong. A girl stood before me, judging from the voice in the silhouette. But I couldn't even reprimand myself for getting scared by a girl before noticing a gaping mouth under a hood with something dangerously shiny inside. I was stunned. Oh my god. From the cavity of her hood, a frighteningly real fox face is staring at me. It's just her jaws weren't moving and her eyes weren't blinking. Oh god. A mask! It's just a girl with a fox mask on. At least I want to think that. After a surprise like that, a nervous smile involuntarily crept up my face. I was just going to school and then you'd... What about me? Never seen a fox feed a dog? Oh, the little puppy! And indeed, there was a small dog chucking the girl's legs. One of the strays that were chasing me yesterday. Probably. Sorry, I didn't mean to. After hearing my voice, the dog whimpered, lowered its ears, sniffed me out, and then started wagging its tail. I guess I still smelled of bologna. Ah, bologna is a good sandwich meat that I ate for breakfast. I shifted my gaze back and forth from the dog to the girl. She didn't seem scary anymore. Just weird. So, you didn't mean to, huh? What's your name? I'm Anton. And you? And I'm not. Oh, no! No! Oh, the eyes! She's weird. Definitely has a couple of loose screws. Yeah, no kidding. But she has a nice voice. Why, thank you, Anton. My astonishment has turned into a mix of happiness and relief. This girl I didn't know is definitely human, if a bit eccentric. It's also a bit angry at myself. This foxy girl was walking through the darkness without problem, and I shuddered from every little sound. I could just walk away, but this girl had piqued my interest. The next time police officer asked me about my friends and the new places, I'll tell him I befriended a talking fox. Do you live around here? In the village? Okay, no. 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 The fox giggled and purred. She spun around so hard the hem of her coat lifted up. No, dummy. Foxes don't live in villages. So you live in the forest, then? Have you been living under a rock? It's obvious that foxes can't survive anywhere near humans. As long as they're foxes. You know, I'm not going to do an accent. Her jokes were also weird. It's just like her carnival mask. Paper mache with fur glued onto it. A dog reminded us of its existence with a loud bark. I unfastened my backpack. Dad would sometimes throw food out there without my knowledge. Cookies, apples, or even my favorite crab sticks. He called it a gift from the bunny. I'm going to hit that. The uneaten part of a business lunch or treat specifically brought for children. Parents would tell their children that a bunny asked them to deliver said treat. It could also be any other animal, squirrel or bear, for example. But, bunny seems nice and sweet. It's nice. It's sweet. Bunny is... I feel like if someone said, hey, this bear wanted you to eat this, or like a bear sent you something, I'd be terrified. The stray strolled toward me with mincing footsteps, with pleading looks in its eyes. The fox definitely did treat it to something, but it probably was still hungry. Why are you dressed like this so early in the morning? Going to a costume party? The girl shrugged, throwing off silvery snowflakes off her nose. Oh. Dale's playing a game, and her human form along with him, turning into a genuine beast. A real fox, agile, cunning, dangerous. Without a moment of hesitation, you'll be ripped to shreds. She'll tear you apart and gulp you down without breaking a sweat. I couldn't help but just stand there as a stump. I do not like this. What is this lady? Until I heard her calm, melodic laughter hidden underneath the beastly mask. I wish you could have seen your face, sweetie. Say, sweetie. I got embarrassed, went red up to my hair roots. We've seen a fox in a zoo once. We went there with Dad, but it had patchy fur. It was gray, and shiny. This girl was of a fiery color and furry, just like in fairy tales. I was still rummaging through my backpack. My fingers that were searching for the dog's treat stumbled upon some soft, crumpled object. You'll see. The real beast will wake up soon. You should ask them where they got their human faces. The girl's shadow is dancing in the lamplight. Is she one of the ones? The dog yapped in agreement. I swear. Is it not a horror game? Like, it's just random people wearing masks? I freaked out and dropped my finding in the snow without getting a proper chance to examine it. Cold wind instantly covered the hole it created with snow. The dog rushed to dig it out, wanting to get its treat. And the fox just snorted. Now, as I was so embarrassed, I wanted to sink through the snow. It was still dark out. It was still dark outside of the electric circle. On the contrary, the darkness seemed even more thick. All neighboring houses were sleeping deeply in its inkiness. I did my best to continue the conversation with the weird girl I didn't know. So, are you going to school? Oh my, you are a real dummy. Don't you get it yet? Well, I was trying to be friendly, but she can stop mocking me. But she can't stop mocking me. Call me a dummy and all. I should have just moved... Did my phone? That was a weird buzz. I should have just moved along without paying any attention to this weirdo and her stupid dog. Why are you so mean? Don't answer it if you don't want to. It's not like I care. Still, something froze me in place, tugged me toward the dark figure. Mysterious appearance, her voice that was velvety and just languid enough. I was intrigued and excited. I watched her as people watched fires burn. Oh, stop pouting. Look here. Zulka took a liking to you. The dog was digging through the snow with sharp movements, snoring loudly. The fox turned around and looked at the windows of a nearby house at its timbered front through the white mist. The tip of her fake nose was shining under the lamplight. I hate the eyes. And maybe someone else too. No! No! Hayden say no! You get away, fox girl! You get away! God, no! Please, no! I went red again, like a boiled crawfish this time. Is she talking about herself or someone else? I don't like either one of those answers. I hope that the semi-dark would be able to hide my embarrassment from the girl. I cleared my throat before asking. And who's that person? I waited, counting my heartbeat. The fox didn't reply. Oh no, it's her. Her sly stare was scanning the frosty patterns of someone's windows. She was reading them like a glass book. I wonder what she could see in those winter paintings. The stray stopped rummaging through the snow. It ran to me, holding my object in her jaws. A mitten. Could it be the one I found in the forest? What is it doing here? When I looked closer, I realized it was just my mitten. Maybe mom stuff's in there when I was asleep? A certain missing boy immediately came to mind. Hey, do you know anything about Vova? I imagine the scene. Silhouettes dancing in the clearing. It's her. She's one of them. The dance at the night, Vova disappeared. A boy who, when found, could provide a big reward to maybe save my family. I remember my birthday, when our parents promised to take me and Alia to Disneyland in Paris. Is there one in Paris? But instead of a long-anticipated gift, they gave me a simple brick game console, Tetris, visibly embarrassed. I was crying my eyes out back then, demanding to be taken to the promised amusement park. That was the first time my mom and dad had a big fight. My greediness shattered their relationship. You know what? That's fair. He was promised something his parents didn't. If only I could fix everything. Gather everybody I love and take them to Disneyland. On the night Vova disappeared, I think I saw someone look like you, dancing under my window. It couldn't be true. But I felt like our mask became even more sly. The fox was sniffing me out. Oh, that got you worried? For yourself or for someone else? Alia, as soon as I thought about my sister, my chest tightened and a cold sweat streamed down my spine. Well then, listen closely, a boy named Anton. This is a big and scary forest, and you are a creepy and scary lady. The fox girl stepped forward menacingly. And I'm not its only tenant. The other beasts already know about you. Beware. We'll come out again. I shouldn't have talked to this evil in child form, I thought, panicked. When you and your parents will be fast asleep, we'll sneak really close and dance. Macarena! Huh? Hey, Macarena! I don't know if I like this person or hate this person. Look at you. Your mouth is agape, Antosha. He saw me wear his window at night? Yeah, right. Are you by chance a dimwit? Nobody would let me go outside that late. Children go missing here, you know. I touched the plastic frame of my glasses, puzzled by her silly joke. She got me scared to death. Yeah, I know. Why don't you stop fondling your glasses? I was also nearsighted once. Listen to me and maybe you'll become smarter. Remember what do they call foxes? Foxes? Cunning? My words seem to hurt her. Oh. Hey, what did you... Oh, sorry. Her laughter was akin to the jingle of a pair of silver bells. It's just pulling your leg. Will you please take off your mask? Of course we're cunning. If you're agile and brave enough to be a friend of Cunning Fox, I'll help you look for your Vova. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta grab something really quick. If this is how the conversation's gonna be, I gotta grab something really quick to go along with this. Yeah. There it is. Yeah, this is all part of this, so... If she's gonna wear a stupid mask in this conversation, then gosh darn it, I am too. If you're agile and brave enough to befriend a Cunning Fox, it'll help you look for Vova. There's a reason why you're doing it, right? I shrugged in reply. Her insight was alarming. I know why children have been swarming our forest recently. Sometimes you can't just find a lot of interesting stuff there. One day, I saw a huge pile of candy once and swam it until my jaws cramped. A pile of candy? I couldn't deduce whether she believed in what she was saying from the tone of her voice. I showed her another smile, a fake one this time.
Boo, so wary. Well, what do you say to this then?
She held out her furry mitten. Candy! There's an assortment of sweets in her palm. In the city where I used to live, sweets like these were sold at markets or kiosks. I don't need to know what a kiosk is. I saw my favorite bubblegum and a vivid wrapper among the tasty treats. Turbo! Like the snail? A familiar name was on it. Turbo. A triangular fox face poked her nose towards me.
Take some. My pockets are full of these.
God. I'm gonna take it, and she's like, yes, you're mine now. Let's do it, though.
I accepted the treat, catching a whiff of the girl's smell. Fur, fireworks, and citrus, the smell of holidays. My fingers tingled while I was carefully unwrapping the gum. Peachy aroma. Ooh, peach gum. Entered my nostrils, and something else. Something unfamiliar but pleasant. The fruity cube ended up in my mouth. I started moving my molars, chewing the gum. It tastes like usual Turkish gum, but only my tongue went a bit numb. I couldn't believe my luck after opening the insert.
We won a Mercedes-Benz! The player happens to blah blah. Wow, we won a car! I looked at the Mercedes-Benz, an extremely rare and hence desirable collector's item for any boy from my previous neighborhood. My heart skipped a beat. I was barely able to tear my eyes off the insert, still stunned. This is...
Now do you see what can be found in the forest? Still, I wouldn't go out there alone if I were you. You get so flustered over simple bubblegum, after all. Imagine what would happen if you find a travel case worth of these. It'll surely blow your mind.
Unusual treats. Just like everything else about her. I carefully hid the insert in my bag, as if I was putting on a rare butterfly in a can. The fox giggled. This is not how things are supposed to go on a Monday morning. Who are you? Sweet! I refrained from asking that question. She wouldn't answer anyway, or she'll just lie. I really wanted to see what's behind her mask. I was becoming more and more assured that underneath wasn't a simple young girl.
What if Vova also found a pile of snow sweets and is now rolling in it? Actually, what if he decided to stay in the forest? It must be so cold without a second mitten man.
The wind caught her words like smoke from a fire and carried them deep in the darkness into the creepy thicket. I'm done with the mask. The trees behind me creaked at their long, bony branches.
Or, what if something happened to him along the way? Something terrible.
The forest reacted to her words, became alive, and sniffed me out, perking up its ears just like a curious beast. The fox girl pierced me with her eyes again. Wild beasts?
You find that scary?
Well, I don't know.
He doesn't know! Hey dog, what's his name? Zoldyck? Oh my, have I befriended a dunce?
I never said we were friends. I didn't like being called a dunce, yet being friends with her sounded nice. No. My grades are good.
Really now? Will you come with me? Good grades, Anton. We'll find your Vova, and you'll be able to ask him what he found deep in the forest. As long as you're with me, nothing can hurt you in the forest. You'll see.
Worms of worry writhed in my belly.
Better run,
Whispered my mind. I don't believe you.
Do you take me for a liar?
I mean, foxes are cunning. They play tricks.
Whatever, you're just like everybody else.
Else wasn't spelt right. Hold on. Else wasn't spelt right. Oh, I'm picky. I'm picky. The girl sounded hurt, although I didn't know if she was genuine about it. She turned around as if she had immediately lost all interest in me. The gum felt bitter now. I remember my dad's favorite saying, "Where are your manners, son?" Indeed, this fox was kind to me. Please don't get mad. Foxes can also be nice, like in fairy tales. I just need to know what kind of fox you are. The girl giggled, hiding the nose of her mask in her hands.
Then follow me into the forest and you'll get to know me. But not right now, when it gets bright. I mean, your whole body is shaking. You poor thing.
I don't want you to get a stroke. Can I know what you look like?
Hey, let me accompany you to school.
After hearing this, dog barked in agreement and stopped messing with the mitten. I leaned in, trying to grab the piece of handwear that almost ran away from me. Well, if we're going in the same direction. We went towards the school and the Lost Dawn. She's walking straight, I'm walking sideways. Here and there, the lights came on in the windows we passed, as if their inhabitants were sending us warning signs. Silhouettes lurked behind curtains. Dogs let out occasional barks. Spirals of gray smoke rose from chimneys. TVs bustled, and dishes clanged in kitchens. We watched the village slowly rise from its slumber. Oh, there's my dog. While carefully treading the snowy wheel trails. I walked in on the left one, and she took the right one. The dog was following right behind us. I expected the fox to bring up something weird again, but she stayed silent all the way to the school, as if playing with me some game only she wants to privy to. She would giggle from time to time when the dog sneezed from the snowflakes that fell on its nose. I was the first to break the silence. So what's your name?
Here it comes. Names, names, names. You people always need to put labels on everything.
I mean, do you want me to just call you Fox?
What name would you give a fox like me?
I don't know. But I've read about Alyssa the Fox.
You know what? I don't mind. I'll be Alyssa.
I couldn't understand if she was joking or not. I turned around as if looking for an answer from the dog from the dark sky devoid of dawn. My silent questions were left unanswered. The school's outline was already in our sight. That guy shouldn't be smoking on premises. Those three are probably smoking. A giant brick box stuck in an endless night. God, this is getting spooky. This is getting spooky. I don't like the girl. The warden trees were guarding the schoolyard. Screams, childish laughter, and someone's whistling tore up the silence. I went here with Mom when we just moved, and the place looked cozy at that time. Empty corridors that smelled of polished, puffy snow outside. Second time I came alone to get books and just kept imagining my peers, rolling down the railings, grade schoolers running to the library, and teachers marching down the corridor with the air of self-importance around them. High schoolers were smoking, I called it, at the entrance in track pants and wool caps perched on their foreheads. Their appearance destroyed the last hopes of a cozy school. Their stingy eyes and teeth, yellow from nicotine, their smirks, all of it had the same gloomy effect as a cloudy winter morning. Absorbed by my thoughts, I completely forgot about my companion.
I'll wait for you at the back after school. Near the Hanged Man.
Near what? She just ignored my question.
Don't be late.
I hesitated. Blowing hot and cold again. Mom always said that when I would have trouble choosing between two options. Think about Mom helps me reply. I'm going home straight after school.
Well, Antosha, I'm gonna let you off the hook. But the others will creep up to you with their smiles and sink their teeth into you. Won't be able to shake them off as easily. Remember my words.
A fox opened her mouth with a wide yawn. What kind of trick is this? Someone running in the distance called out my name. And I turned around. A huge snowball whizzed past my shoulder and hit the dog. Whimpering ran towards the spring. The darkness devoured it. Foxtrot was nowhere to be seen.
So that wasn't a mask. She dissolved into the frosty air.
Or was she hiding in my shadow? I gulped. And swallowed the gum. Unlucky. So taking a deep breath, I went towards the school, towards the cutlets and the dough, toward the light raining down on the snow. Whose nest is this, I wonder? A thieving magpie? That probably has all sorts of shiny things in it. Pieces of colored glass, bottle caps, polished coins, or child braces. Tall man was standing near the gate, puffing out clouds of smoke into the wind. Shouldn't be smoking on his school premises. He didn't look like a teacher. Was he a PE guy, maybe? Ah, I didn't mean to hit that. I carefully studied his face that looked like it was cut from a piece of granite, and his hair lip that was holding down a cigarette. He was playing around with his car keys and staring back at us. The light from the cigarette was reflected in his eyes that were deep in his eye sockets. I froze in place. Pokemon lasing towards his eyes off us and walked towards the road. There was fresh-looking Volga parking nearby, with one of its front wheels perched up on the icy curb. Black like Sooth? Black like Sooth. As if it was straight out of the horror story Dad loved to tell me when we hid in the attic during a thunderstorm. I remember him always wearing a sad smile while mentioning the black car that snatched children. He would say, "Looks like a funeral car on the inside. White curtains and all. And has DSC on its license plate. You know what that means? Death to Soviet children." Funny. I was born in the USSR, too. We're gonna save. God, this is just getting spooky. A buzzing crowd of upperclassmen with their winter hats tipped to the side. I better not draw their attention. Oh, okay. Oh! I was actually... I could hear muffled voices behind the door, slowly blinking lamps. Saw blinking lamps. Darkness creeped along with the windows and felt like the school was drifting in open spaces like a lonely, lost spaceship. People! I can't understand that! After going to the second floor, I noticed a crowd around a notice board. Oh, Vova! Everyone was taking part in lively discussion. I moved closer and took a look at something everyone was interested in through a wall of backpacks. There was a piece of paper with something printed on it, glued to the left of the notice board. Yeah, it's Vova. Child missing. Vova Mopkukten. That was his name. A 4th grader. On that grainy print, Vova looked dead, with a black mouth and dark, empty eye sockets. Could it be that the darkness dwelling deep inside the forest invaded his pores and mutilated his face? A plastic toy gun couldn't protect him from the whispering branches and the howling wind. Empty of eyes of the lost boy pierced through my soul as if pleading. Unable to meet his stare, I turned around and rushed toward the window, took a seat on the windowsill. Oh, I took a seat on the windowsill. The corridor was slowly filling up with children, in groups of few. Nobody paid me any mind. And so that was... Was that a was? Was that daughter of was? In the darkness of school toilets, child voices hammering a nursery rhyme. For the fox and for the bear, bunny, tasty meals prepare. I turned my head toward them, trying to get a better look at their features, but then my attention was stolen by a loud clicking sound. A female teacher marched down the corridor with a chin raised up high. Her heels were hitting the floor like miniature hooves. A girl was trailing her every step. You're the... of the story. She also looked pompous, stomping along the way and whispering some secret in her friend's ear. She's probably a class rep since she was carrying an attendance register book. She looks like she's just that one girl. Ekaterina. Katrina? I'm gonna say Katrina. No, Ekaterina. Please, take this, please. Ekaterina, take this, please. Teacher opened the classroom door and a crowd of children formed and screaming and pushing. Out of all of them, the tall, red-headed fat boy caught my attention. His was full of blistered. He looked like the inside of a pomegranate. That's so mean! A bad feeling risen up the hair on the back of my head. I've seen boys like him before. Unsettled, cackling laughter. The girl was small. It was a small, crowd. Teacher warned the boy with a wave of her hand and entered the room through the clearing in the crowd. Some other guy stood in the way of the crowd, and the redhead immediately shoved him. Move your legs, moron! The boy flew headfirst, flinging his hands, trying to keep his balance. The fatso burst out laughing, and a couple kids joined his nasty cackling. Sounded like someone was snipping with huge garden scissors. The classroom sucked all the kids in, the corridor stood empty. Oh, there it is. I wanted to grow roots and stay on the windowsill. Oh, that's a weird shape in the snow. It's a handful of lampposts outside for battling the darkness, writhing like fluorescent fish in the black ocean. Maybe I can still run away? Go outside, dissolve in the dark. I imagine myself running through the snow, how it squeaks under my boots, and how I'm becoming lighter and lighter with every step. Oh, do I have to just sit through school? I graduated. Ringer's trill blew that illusion away. I tore myself from the window with great effort. I took up a keep address, trying to at least calm down my mad pulse, and entered the classroom. I'm waiting for something just to appear. The prim teacher looked at me over the frame of her glasses, clearly annoyed. I'm the transfer student. I was told to come here. The snowy forest trail was winding in front of my eyes. The pines rustled, but didn't sound predatory anymore. She buried herself in the register and flicked through the pages. Your last name? Petrov. Huh? What are you mumbling there? Say it clearly. Petrov. You're not on the list. She measured with a long and heavy stare, as if trying to see if I was lying. I wanted to sink through the floor. Hazy faces observed all that from the left. The classroom breathed and snorted in unison, like a living organism, like a dangerous beast. Are you sure? I don't have you in my register. My knees chose the worst time to start shaking, and I felt dizzy. I mean, he looks like he'd be a tough kid. Does he have what color hair does he have? I clutched my fist so hard that my knuckles became white. They told me to come to classroom 204 to ask for Lilia Palinova, class 6C. Apparently everyone in class took my word for some sort of joke because they were all laughing. What's wrong with this school? The classroom fell silent. The kids hid their smokes for a better occasion. Why do we hire so many interns? They all know how to put lipstick over their bulging lips but when it comes to real problems, I have to solve everything. How do they send you here without any proper paperwork? Ugh, we've had the same thing happen so many times already. Wait here, I'll be back. After I have a little chat with them. Alright guys, my name is Anton Petrov. Nice to meet you. I am a wuss. I see things, and I'm probably crazy. The teacher flew past me, mumbling something to herself in righteous anger, and I was left standing at the center of the classroom. Like a convict in front of the firing squad, I lowered my gaze, feeling the mocking stares from all around the classroom directed at me. They prickled my skin, dancing on like laser lights. Once again, I imagined running far away from this place, fighting the clawing wind, soaring high above the pines in one long jump, with the wind on my back as my only companion. The eyes of my future classmates were asking, this new boy? Is he one of us or is he an outsider? Somebody whispered something and stifled laughter rolled through the classroom. Wipe the board! It's easy to guess who was the main prankster. It was easy to guess who was the main prankster here. Hey, Four Eyes! Are you not blind but also deaf? I said wipe the board. My knees weren't the only shaking part of my body anymore. I was trembling from head to toe and I prayed for the teacher to come back sooner. My prayers were answered by the powers that be. And what should I do with you now? Where will you sit? Well, you can sit with Semyon, I guess. Semyon. He's alone anyway. No way! The fatso put his backpack on the seat beside him in defiance, scratching his belly and smirked. Are you back to your old tricks? Should I call your grandma here again? The classroom went silent. What's she gonna do? I'll be the one to do something if she doesn't. Put your backpack away now. Simon didn't move a muscle. He started studying the portraits of writers on the wall, looking bored. I needed to do something to resolve this somehow to save myself. I cleared my throat and continued to decipher a voice that sounded nothing like me. I can sit in the last row. I think there's a free seat. Teacher snorted loudly. She looked at me, then at Semyon, then back at me. Fine, go there for now. And you, Baburin. I'll talk with you later. Come to me after classes. You'll be on cleaning duty, got it? Semyon forced out a twisted smile. Juicy pimples were growing on the top of his nose, ripe for the taking. Gugh! I walked carefully, afraid to stumble and fall, causing another outburst of laughter from everyone. I took my seat at the back, at the last table where I was met with a pile of old posters. The outcasts took their seats, and the class was ready to start. Now this is settled. Let's start class. Today's theme is traditions of Russian and international literature, and Zoshenko's Don't Lie. God, you're so ugly! The fatso turned back to me, a stare informed me of the coming days, weeks, and months of bullying. Got my eyes on you, said his watery look. Please don't. You are the ugliest thing I've ever seen. After just a couple of periods, Arden noticed a huge yellow spit stain on my notebook. Then at the cafeteria, the Seaman accidentally spilled a glass of Compot on me. Then he flailed his hands after exiting the toilet so some of the liquid from his hands would get on me. Just before the final period for today, Seaman pushed me into a buzzing crowd of other girls from our class. Uh-oh! They made way, cursing, but I couldn't hold my balance, and I'm ramming the face into a girl I took for the class rep, right into her chest. Ow! Immediately stepped back, dying from embarrassment. I'm sorry, are you alright?
Я...
Then she suddenly put her hands on her hips. Will you look at him? Groping me in front of everyone! I'll tell my mom! I'll expel you, you pervert! There was some sort of sadistic pleasure in her eyes. I knew it, as if she was a child who was about to put a lid... Chafer beetle. I didn't mean to. He pushed me. We all saw that, you know. No blind among us. She stared at my glass while showing me a creepy smile. I tried to fume on the inside, but Simeon's laughter cooled my head. I pushed you? I pushed you? You sure? He swaggered up to me. I mean, you're a big dude. There ain't no way you didn't push me. I think you push everybody as you walk through these hallways. He swaggered up to me, enveloping me in the smell of sunflower seeds and rotting teeth, and then pushed me to the ground. Like this, huh? What you gonna do now? Bully towered over me as if saying, come on, hit me. Let me see you try. Oh, do I get an option? Fight back! Listen, you. My throat went dry and my lips were moving on their own. My voice was akin to a stifled squeak. Simeon wore a mocking smile. Go on, Four Eyes. Why'd you stop? We're all waiting. You ever touch me again? Simeon slowly stuck out a finger and poked my forehead. I did, so what? If you ever do it again, here. Once more. And again. And again. And again. Took me with his finger so hard that my head tilted backwards. I must not cry, or I'll be done for. What will a wimp like you do to me? My vision went blurry. My soul tore off from the floor. I rushed forward and threw a random punch without looking. Oh! Ha! When I saw it, I opened my eyes. It was beautiful and horrifying at the same time. Simeon was holding his ear and blinking in amazement. Was that the first person to rebel against his absolute rule? I needed a run, but I was already surrounded by his cronies. Lilia Polnova. Petrov just hit Baburin. Simon's cheeks grew even redder and his pimples even wider, like the heads of larvae. But a smile flashed on his face that was only noticed among his comrades. He got really close to me. The smell of rotten teeth washed over me. You are fucking done. His voice was evil and dangerous, like someone tore off the lid from a kettle with boiling fat. I was waiting to get hit, counting the thumps of my heart and guessing where his fist will go. Solar plexus? The jaw? The nose? But he turned around and walked off. A thought, cold and sober and extremely rational, popped up in my head. I'm gonna get killed today. I was late to leave the school after the classes on purpose. Simeon didn't attend the last periods, so I was hopeful. But what if he decided to dodge the cleaning duty and ran home forgetting all about me? I heaved a sigh of relief, like someone on death row whose execution was delayed day by day. But I didn't let myself forget his tone, his vengeful gaze, and his scary electrified smirk. While the other students were leaving the school, laughing loudly, I pretended to skim through my books near a window. I was staring outside, nervous. Simeon was nowhere to be found in the front yard or near the school gate. I didn't really believe I was this lucky, so I decided to be extra cautious and stayed for some more time in the corridor that was gradually getting less crowded. While the bustle moved to the first floor, there was a skeleton peeking out of the biology room. Some jokester put a cap on with the American condor on its head. Sound of running water coming from the bathroom. I was the only person left in the school. I'm not alone, a sudden thought came to mind. I remembered the missing boy. His portrait was on the notice board near the schedule. Am I gonna go see what's her name? Alyssa? I remembered his smile. Him looking at me. And the fact that he's most likely already dead. Hello? I shuddered and turned around. Who are you? At first my eyes stumbled upon the black violin case. Then I noticed a girl from my class was holding it. Oh, hello. You certainly are friendly, please. Please don't be evil. She sat in the first row of the second column. I could swear I caught her looking at me a couple of times. And I was sneaking glances at her myself. Ooh, scandalous. Sometimes it feels nice to look at someone pretty. The spring, the sky, or a girl that's not in the crowd that laughs at Simon's jokes. And she wasn't whispering the dirty whispering the dirty laundry of other people to Katya. She spent all of the breaks just like me, staying in the classroom or looking in the window or drawing something in a green notebook. Hello. I turned red and pretended I was studying the pattern on the wooden floor.
It was cool, the way you hit him.
It was an accident. Almost. I started shoving books in my backpack to at least put something in my hands.
Simeon wasn't like that before. He also transferred here just recently. His grandma told me that it almost felt like he went mad. Even the upperclassmen fear Simeon. Did you know? But you're different. Wink.
Blink. Fun fact. The plural of wink is blank.
You're brave.
Угу.
I mumbled in reply. Yeah, right. Me? Brave? Here they've been standing around in the hallway to avoid a beating? The girl looked at me with her clear, attentive eyes.
Do you live on the river? In the wooden house?
Yeah?
Must be scary living there. And you also have to cross the forest? I wouldn't be able to do that.
I shivered at the mention of the forest. I thought of the intertwining branches of a snake-like trail of an endless darkness spread like mold among the crooked trees. Then I straight replied, It's not that scary. What's so scary about it for you? She smiled after a brief pause. As if brushing off a daydream.
Well, actually, never mind.
Are you Alyssa? Are you Fox Girl? Ow, my finger!
My name is Paulina, by the way.
And I'm Anton.
Yeah, I already know that. Hey, Anton.
She stumbled, just trying to decide whether she could continue.
What are you doing after school?
My chest felt prickly after her innocent question. Yet somehow it felt pleasant. Nothing much. I stumbled and didn't finish my sentence. Okay. She is. Oh my god, she is. No. 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 Alyssa's predatory smile flashed in front of my eyes. Her playful eyes and the slits of the mask are probably just a product of my imagination. Though. What if the fox girl was waiting for me after the school? Was there another weird joke of hers? What if she's hiding in a big red tail under her coat? I suddenly got covered with beads of sweat like after a PE class. I wanted to take a shower, as if just thinking of the foxy girl made me dirty. Soiled my clothes, lured me into the forest embrace. I have a violin lesson, then I'll be free. My grandpa hired me a private tutor.
Our music teacher's violinist and he doesn't have anyone to teach here except for me.
She waved her free hand in the air, imitating the movement of bow and violin strings. I could almost hear the music. It chased Alyssa out of my head. I looked at Paulina's lips, catching her every word, and was frozen from the unusual sensations. They were warm, soothing, and tingly. It felt like it was very small, and the feelings were immense, and they couldn't fit inside me.
They say there's a serial killer on the loose in the village.
And there you go! You ruined the mood! You ruined the mood! God, you ruined the mood. This is why I don't like people. It's like, oh my god, everything's going so good.
Did you hear about the murder? Normally Grandpa would escort me home from school, but he's been sick lately.
I snuck a glance at Vova's photo. His eye wells were studying me. That is a bad picture. His lips are wearing black lipstick. Just like the portrait on a gravestone.
I mean, I'm not a coward, it's just... I think I'll be safer with you. Will you go home with me, Anton?
This is moving quick. There it was. Finally, everything I read about in the adventure books, everything that I dreamed about was seeping into my life. A mysterious crime, a beautiful stranger, and a heroic duel. A duel. Thinking of Simeon instantly sobered me. I'm sorry I got his name wrong. Turned me back to earth and started shaking under my feet like a deck of a ship. If only I could rise with the occasion in front of Paulina. Because no matter how brave I was trying to act, it was obvious for both of us that I wouldn't be able to stand a chance against a big guy like that. And him knocking me out won't even be the worst of it. The worst part is that Paulina will see all that. And she'll laugh at me like everybody else. No, I don't need anybody to see me in such a shameful state. I doubt I'll be able to today. You know, Simeon is waiting for me outside. I need to deal with him one-on-one, like a man. Nonsense. Polina brushed off some hair off her forehead, and I sensed a weak aroma of blackberry. Polina's like water when you were thirsty. You gulp it down and still wanted more. What is this kid saying? I remember the summer evening as the country house, the fire's punching smoke, the berries hanging over our fence from the neighbors, and a soft cover of pine needles under my soles. Those were the peaceful days when I felt completely safe. My mom resting in the hammock, my dad putting meat on a skewer. Could I have foreseen the upcoming catastrophe and the crackle of the coals, and our parents' laughs, and the smell of the fleeting July? Could I have seen how fragile that world was? Do you really think that Savage will give you a fair fight? He'll just swarm me with his friends without giving you a chance to catch a break. Polina suddenly flashed a devious smile. But if we go together, they'll be put off. I'm not the only first violin of this village. I'm not only the first violin in this village. I'm a girl. I've heard from a delinquent. I know that he'll never attack someone when there's a girl around. Can you imagine? They have this weird code of honor. They really don't. Something just fell. I've dealt with bullies. They have no code of honor. A delinquent, you know? I thought sounded worried. Is he better than me? Taller? More handsome? Oh, I have to go to music class. Bye-bye. She made a couple of footsteps and stopped. I swear if she comes back and kisses me, I'm done. I'm done with this game. If she comes back and kisses me. She's not going to. Amazing. Paulina didn't look like those beauties from the magazine posters, the actress from the movies. But in the flickering light of the ceiling lamp, she looked much more alluring. Can you play anything? My parents bought me a guitar a couple years ago. I need to remember my meager attempts at making music. Change. We're all waiting for change. Soy's song echoed through my thoughts and my desire to change something. Singer, blah blah, Kino. Okay. The guitar got lost somewhere as if refusing to move from the old house near the forest. I think my parents gave it away to someone that needed it more. I don't, sadly. A pity. Oh well, I'll be going. Ta-ta! She doesn't say bye, she says ta-ta. Her shout was captured by the loud echo. Her shoes also echoed through the school hallways. Bye. I wasn't sure if Polina heard me. I looked out the window again. The schoolyard was empty, just a couple of grade schoolers throwing snowballs at each other. Nobody who looked like the hulking Simeon with his cronies. This is giving me hope. What should I do? Polina could become my friend, the first one in this new place. Besides, she may be in real danger of meeting a killer, and I'll defend her. Her knight! I don't like Anton anymore. I know he's, what is he, 12? I think he's 12, but what is this? Even my inner voice was hesitant about running. Away from killers lurking in the woods at night. Polina was worth the risk, but the red-cutting cox was also intriguing. She promised to help me look for Vova, and this will bring me a reward. More money will almost guarantee peace of my family. Gifts for Alia. I imagine my sister happy like those girls who get prizes from Supanov in the finest hour. It's probably just a thing. Yeah, TV show. Should be dancing. I'm not looking at that anymore. Should be dancing with the famous singers. Maybe a new popular boys band like the Ivanuski International. Mom and Dad hanging like in the Istanko Pavilion. Maybe all of us going to Disneyland. Oh, I have a choice. Huh. I have a choice. But, okay, she said I was off the hook. But no, I said I was going straight home. I said I was going straight home after school. Okay, if something bad, let's say if I run into Simeon, I'm gonna hop back. After closing my backpack, I ran down the stairs. Adventure! I scanned my surroundings through the window in the main hall. Nobody suspicious in sight. School doors creaked. The sound was familiar to the music from a thriller, the high note that comes before an intense scene. I ran on the school corner, trying not to catch anyone's attention. The smell of pastry and burnt sugar wafted from the school cafeteria. I then froze when I saw a silhouette in the second floor window. It must be Polina, gliding a bow on a violin string, with her head slightly tilted to the side. I wish I could hear the melody she played, but Polina was only a dark outline on the window's yellow sheet. I dragged my feet forwards. Do I see Alyssa? Nope, that's Simeon! The net on the football goal yard fluttered in the wind. Nope. We're gonna go the other way. I was imagining if I saw. We're gonna go this way. We're going with Polina. It's the only time I'm gonna do something like this. Snow danced in the air along outside the window, following the rhythm of the music that was flowing from around the corner. I jumped off the windowsill and started walking through the hallway, curiosity eating away at me. That half an hour I'd spent there waiting crawled at a snail's pace. I wanted to see Polina again. The music became louder. It streamed out of the half-open door at the end of the corridor. My music taste was limited to Letov Shivkuk, the timeless classic, and the pop song I saw on TV. Along with the music videos that would sometimes be put on tapes as teasers before a movie. This violin melody captivated me. I felt like a master woodcutter, working with delicate wood, a fragile crystal toy, a gust of warm wind. I brushed my cheek against the doorway. Polina was hiding from me in the far end of the classroom, but a shadow that fell on the wall definitely belonged to a girl with a violin. The movements of her bow were so graceful that I felt like I was getting carried away on the waves of the music. My heart broke the barrier of my ribcage and started hopping around. Faster and faster, it jumped on snow piles, gliding between the snow pines toward the fiery sun above the windfall. Got tired of waiting? I was so deep in thought I didn't hear the approaching footsteps. After bathing in music, Polina felt even more magical. Oh, no, not really. I was thinking about my comic. For some unknown reason, I lied. You draw comics? Yeah, well, I mean, I want to draw one. Oh! And what will it be about? About the most charming and kind girl that plays the violin, who somehow happens to be in the house of horror. About a fox. I mean, about talking animals who help children get lost to return home from the woods. And then they dance in the night. Wow! Sounds interesting. Did you come up with it yourself? I lowered my gaze. I got inspiration from looking outside the window. I hate sneezing. Nightly vows. Yep, we're going this way. We ascended to the first floor. I opened the door in front of Polina. Dad told me how essential it is to be a gentleman. So you're an artist, huh? I had a hunch you were different. Special. Are you joking? Me? I'm absolutely average. Simeon's the average one. An average idiot. And you carried something kind and fluffy inside. Dog! Dog. Oh no. Something barked in my leg when we were crossing the schoolyard, interrupting Polina. Eek! Don't worry, it's Zulka. I stood on one knee and rubbed the darking dog behind the ear. I didn't mean to right-click. It was frankly wagging its tail like it was some sort of propeller. I looked around the yard, trying to find Alyssa. The foxtrot was nowhere to be found, neither in the yard nor on the road. Leave it be. To stray, you know. What if it has pests? No, this one has an owner. I think. Polina looked at the playful dog with disgust, covering her mouth with a handkerchief. Do you have any food on you? I think I have something left. We'll feed it and go, all right? She took a sandwich out of her bag and threw it to Zulka. The little dog rushed to her banquet. Swept away from the bread and swept away the bread with her nose and started eating the bologna. What a picky eater. Come on, eat everything. Polina took my sleeve, egging me on. Hey, what's wrong? That was not the laugh I was expecting! She replied with laughter. The violin girl literally dragged me out of the school gate, stifling laughs into a fist. That was not the laugh I was expecting. I turned around. Zuko followed us with sad eyes as we were leaving. The dog looked especially lonely with the school as a backdrop. Then Polina just stopped laughing. We walked along and she walked alongside with a blank stare, completely silent. Don't spread pests. Her remark turned out pretty harsh. Was it really the stray's fault she had to live in the street? They always attack people later. Oh. That pack of these almost killed my grandpa last winter. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. Ah! Oh, that's horrible. Is he still not feeling well? He's paralyzed now. He'll never be able to walk again. I remember those scary packs of dogs that were chasing me just a while ago. I'm sorry. It's okay. Polina showed me another enchanting smile, her eyes half closed. What matters is that we understand each other now. Forgot about Zulka after what she said. Some third graders were throwing snowballs at each other and singing, 3, 4, 5, the owl will arrive. The owl? Alia. An image of my sister sitting near the window, bored, looking for me in the twilight, flashed before my eyes. I promised myself that I would go home as soon as I escort Polina. What's the song the kids are singing? It's the second time I've heard it today. We were walking down this main street. Somewhere near, a tractor was grumbling, cleaning snowdrifts. Ravens flew across the ashen sky. A flock of blackbirds circled above us like scary crosses that ran away from graves. The owl? The owl one? It's just a local nursery rhyme. Grandpa used to sing it to me when I was little. He's very knowledgeable about local history and folklore. What does that rhyme sound like? Listen! She started walking backwards, facing me and smiling. 1, 2, time to play with you. 3, 4, 5, the owl will arrive. 6 on end, the wolf's gray. 6 on end, the wolf's gray fur will stand. 7, 8, stump your hooves in wait. For the fox and for the bear. Bunny tasty meals prepare. And I thought that I'd already met a fox this morning. Thankfully, I hadn't met any wolves or bears. So I was looking at this girl's. As I was looking at the girl by my side, I became strangely brave. So brave that I said something unexpected. You have a beautiful voice. Thank you. Polina adjusted her hair, slightly embarrassed. Thanks. And is that the end of the rhyme? Did the bunny prepare those meals? Who knows? Nobody will be able to tell you now. It's really old. I'd even say ancient. There's a legend related to it, though. Want me to tell you? Of course. All sorts of tribes have lived in the taiga back in the day. Grandma told me they had this initiation when they... That's what she's trying to say. Well, some sort of rite when a boy was ready to become a man. Now listen closely. I mean, I was already really close to that age myself. They would lead him into the woods where he needed to spend 3 days hunting. There's a legend about a young man who went into the taiga and never returned. Then suddenly came back when they had already stopped looking for him. He was covered in scratches, dirty, cold. I imagine sleeping among the pines and bare lays. His family rushed to help him, but he just fell unconscious. They brought a shaman. That's spooky. He looked at the young man and his face became grim. He told him that he was in bad shape. The young man convulsed into the morning, repeating the rhyme over and over. Over and over. 1, 2, time to play with you, as if the taiga itself was whispering to him. And then, when the sun came out, he died. But the shaman said he was already dead when he returned. He came out of the woods as a living corpse and whispered that rhyme with his deaded lips. I froze in fear. You sure didn't freeze. Are you sure it's some horror movie? Folklore can be way scarier than movies, believe me. Grandpa said that this tribe just uprooted in a hurry and left to the south. They must have been brave, if they lived here. Polina kicks one of the snow piles under a small boot. Brave, but stupid. Do they need a corpse to appear from the taiga forest for them to understand? Understand what? That they needed to get you out of here. There's a big world. And then there's our village. The world. She spread her arms wide. The village. She showed a distance that was almost invisible with 2 of her fingers. I often imagine big cities. I can look at a globe for hours.
or at Around the World magazines from the library. They have such pretty names. Just listen.
Reykjavik. Tel Aviv.
Music to my ears.
I like to imagine she does deepen her voice like,
Hello, want to hear me speak Russian?
oh, what is it? Ah, I had a word.
Music to my ears.
Privyet. That's what it was.
She started circling, her eyes shut dreamingly. The forest towered before us, touching the low clouds. The road fell into semi-dark between the trees. I've conquered the stage. I could have conquered the stage, performing in front of thousands.
And I have stage fright.
You'll get famous another way, by drawing. You both have a future. What about you, Semyon?
Oh! I thought this was a trap.
You may just get fatter, and
He'll be selling Pierzoki.
yeah, made from dogs.
I thought it was a trap. We burst out laughing, exercising worry from our minds with lighthearted fun.
Did somebody even trust him in selling them?
Oh, you're right. You probably eat a whole lot of them in one go.
Like I said, the forest is less scary when you're not alone.
It's still scary. I looked around. Snow was sparkling, reflecting the last rays of setting sun. My pulse fastened from the thought that we were alone. Yes, you were right. I'm waiting for something just to run by. Oh! Suddenly I heard nearby bushes rustling, spilling of snow in the ravine. A giant man walked from them, fastening a zipper on his pants. I recognized him. He was in the schoolyard this morning. He gave us a different look and just walked away.
What a shady guy. So good that you're here with me, Anton. Who knows what this thug would have done if you weren't by my side? Oh, no.
She gave me a look full of admiration.
Eh.
And when the big man had almost disappeared behind the trees, she stuck her tongue out at him and laughed. Such a little rascal. Polina rushed through the firebreak.
Don't fall behind.
I never fall behind.
You know, the way you speak, it's like a hero from adventure books.
Was she complimenting or mocking me? I don't want to look for the hidden meaning, not when we're on such a wonderful walk. I mean, I like books.
Oh, a well-read man? Intriguing.
A man? Really? I got embarrassed and my cheeks turned beet red, but I still thanked fate for being able to wander around the forest with Polina like this. The girl suddenly stopped and stared in the darkening thicket without making a sound, as if waiting for something. I felt uneasy all of a sudden. And then she asked me in a cold voice,
Have you been there?
Where? Deep in the woods? Polina burst out laughing again, shattering my anxious thoughts.
No, silly. In the big world. In cities with musical names.
Does Moscow sound musical to you? To me it sounds like the croaking of a frog. Polina froze and looked at me in belief.
You've been to Moscow?
Yeah? When I was little. Polina's eyes started sparkling.
What's it like?
Well, it's beautiful. Noisy. Neon lights everywhere.
Neon lights.
Felt like she was savoring those words.
Have you been to the Red Square?
Of course. It's so bumpy. I've also been to those places. Second biggest exhibition complex in Moscow. Interesting. Oh, biggest department store in Europe. One of. I love the metro the most. It smelled like
what?
She ran through, grabbed my sleeve, and stared in my eyes with clear interest. I can't describe it.
Can you draw it?
What, a smell?
Great musicians can play smells.
You're lying.
I'll give you the cassettes later.
She started twirling in the falling snow again.
I'll definitely go to Moscow. But first, to Vienna. It's my dream. The capital of music. Mozart, Beethoven, Strauss, Philharmonic Orchestra, National Opera. I'll be performing and you drawing.
Her enthusiasm spread to me. I wanted to do something right this moment.
Where do you want to go?
I sighed and confessed. To Disneyland. I remembered the Finest Hour show again. Ollie preferred Call of the Jungle, but I always spent my Mondays in front of the TV. Colorful tables with numbers on signs and charming Mr. Supanov on the wheel. And the prizes. Chocolate eggs, video equipment, and the most exciting one, a trip to Disneyland for the winter. My parents promised to take me there to the land of the mouse. Did not believe them at first. Well, maybe they also believed it back then. Now they just reply with silence every time I ask about it, and it saddens me to no end. I just have 3 words in my mind in those moments. But you promised. Polina had seemingly read my mind. Getting here is easier than we think. Everybody has the power to mold their fate. She picked up 2 handfuls of snow. And then, as if she forgot about everything, showed me a sly smile. Want to make a snowman? Sure! When I get back home, I'll make a snowman for Alia too. She'll be so happy. But for now... Aw, this is so sweet! Listen, this is so sweet! This is legitimately so sweet. I love this. We're almost done with the first ball, rolling it shoulder to shoulder. No! That's just what I imagine. Polina was laughing. Locks of hair fell on her lively face. She was so cute, then she blew them away. Why is your ball so small, Landon? It's a medical condition. It's a medical condition, Polina. It's not my fault. It'll only work as a head. Oh, you have no idea. Make it bigger. I wish I could. Don't be lazy. I'm not. I couldn't remember the last time I had so much fun. Polina swept her now crimson lips. Do you ever wish to go to another planet? Mars. Something flashed in her eyes when she said that. I couldn't really put my finger on what it was. To another universe, even. Polina sighed in what felt like relief. And you should understand me. Our palms glided across the ball of snow, straightened up any bumps it had. As an almost ideal white ball rose up from the middle of the clearing. Then another one popped up. We lifted it from 2 sides and placed it on the one that served as a foundation. That is the ugliest looking snowman I've ever seen. Finally, Polina helped the 3rd ball get on top of the other 2. Getting the head on the right place is what I do best. Getting the head... I was just making some really bad jokes, and this is getting the head to the right place is what I do best. Wink, wink, wink. Do you by any chance have a carrot? Alas! There was no fear, no worrying in this clearing. I became more daring, ran toward the thicket to crack a couple of branches. I pulled at the entertaining windfall, while Liam's voice suddenly awakened me from my delusion. Anton! Someone is standing there. I turned around, puzzled. Polina's looking at me. No, something... Oh no. Alyssa, behind my back. She looked at it, her brows furrowed. A single trace was left of the cheerful atmosphere we had a moment ago. Polina? She slowly raised her hand and pointed at the darkness that was approaching. The trees in the distance. Someone is standing there. Oh no. A crooked silhouette, see? Oh no. Rubbing the pine with her huge hands. I turned in the direction she was pointing to. The area around the dry raspberry bushes was empty. There's nothing there. It hid. Behind the tree. Either I'm going to get scared by Polina or Alyssa's watching. The collar of my coat felt suffocating. I pulled on it instinctively. I felt a spasm in my stomach. I smiled weakly, hoping for a good answer. Is this a prank? Polina seemingly lost all words, just continued staring deep in the endless forest. Bravery check, I thought, so I stepped towards the glossy black chunk, Polina's gaze pushing me in the back. I was trying to muster all my courage. My inner voice was telling me to stop. Why? To crawl into a ball, to play dead even. Anything but to go there, in the writhing darkness. The twilight was sucking me in, limiting my vision. The clearing was a deep well, its walls prohibiting the sunlight from reaching its bottom. I heard the air ring, or was it ringing in my ears? 1 step. 2 steps. I bit my lip to stop myself from screaming if anything happened. There was nobody behind the pine. I sighed. And then turned back to Polina. Polina, there's nobody! She's not there. No! Yo, Antelska. The darkness behind the pines, just like a caveman from the cave, appeared smirking Simeon with a bunch of his cronies. What do we have? And who do we have here?
You're this four-eyed freak, eh?
Oi,
Polina let out a shriek when the bastard shoved her away from me. And they surrounded me like a carnivorous pride, making me step back. Gosh darn it! No! Reginald! Simeon's heavy leg blasted through the snowman's belly. The balls we crumbled, became a mushy mess, but with a single broken branch poking out. Polina gasped angrily. I felt a touch of scalding hatred. A smell of sweat and tobacco attacked my nostrils. The inside of my mouth felt salty, as if I'd licked a battery. Polina, don't be scared. I shuddered after hearing my own voice. It sounded unnatural, rough and scary. Why would she be scared? Ho ho ho. Worry about yourself. The fatso spit through the gap in his teeth and pushed me so hard to hit me in his teeth and pushed me so hard that I hit my back against the tree. I can't read. Well? Pissed your pants, sucker? Heard Polina's angry voice from behind. Stay away from him! It would have been better if Polina wasn't around. I wish she wouldn't have seen me in such a shameful position. Look at this, guys! That girl is defending him. Why? You all look... Actually, you look normal. You look ugly, and you look god-awful. Yeah, what a fucking wimp. You fucked with the wrong guy, transfer student. Someone was moving toward me, writing his fist. In that moment, the other delinquent in his track pants made a loud whistle, and the hulking boy lowered his hand. It was unexpected. It seemed like Baburin wasn't the leader of his gang. Rather, they were all listening to the boy, who was looking like a small carnal with very strong and sharp teeth. They decided against hitting me. They probably wanted to humiliate me in front of the girl first. Damn it. Hey, Faggot Jr. And who's that? Another one of your girlfriends? He has a harem, eh? Only then I noticed Zuko behind my legs, trembling from the cold, snow plastered all over its fur. Probably ran all the way from the schoolyard searching for our smell. The delinquent squatted in front of the dog and beckoned it with his hand. Oh my! Come here, you fly-ridden bitch! The others let out nasty laughs. The dog's ears perked up as she started carefully moving closer. Yeah, come here, I've got something for you. No! The dog didn't even have a chance to sniff him when his animal abuser caught it by the ear and kicked it right under the tail so hard it flew in the nearest snow pile of squealing. No. The whole gang burst out laughing and my heart got encrusted in ice. Even the birds that were perched up the tree branches let out frightening caws. What is that? Then I noticed something strange. Polina could hardly keep herself from smiling. Did you really hate dogs so much that... No. After locking her eyes on these, she changed her jubilant smirk to a thoughtful grimace. Why isn't she running away? I thought in horror. At the edge of my vision, I saw something flash in the illusory twilight of the sleeping forest, with the bushes just moving their icy branches in the wind. Rumka won't be able to shit after this. Look at the fucking thing one more time. 2 negatives will make a positive. But the stray is already nowhere to be seen. What? Are you an idiot? Go and show the Four Eyes his place. In a way he'll understand. Yeah, fucking owes you. His wimp whacked you in front of the whole class. Sure thing. I can't remember his voice. Someone brought a sizable signet ring with some geometric shape carved into my face. In a moment, I'll hit your faggot face so hard it'll leave a mark for you the rest of your life. Where did all my inner strength and bravery go?
Стой!
Stop! A wizzy whisper left my lips and head tilted forward, hitting Simeon's fist. Red sparks flew from my eyes. They're getting up on me and beat me up. Roma, tell them to stop! Sorry, but the boys need to sort this out, man to man. You just stand aside and watch. Biashi, give me a hand. So yeah, they're ganging up on me. I felt a sharp crest of ice, and the fatso stepped on my hand, preventing me from getting up. A painful groan escaped my throat. Did you hear him whimper? Is he actually a faggot or something? I started to lose breath from anger and resentment. The pain was growing. My ear was hot and pulsating pain was shooting through it, like it was cut off and a ball of nettle was sewn in its place. Why so silent, Antoshka? Come on, or tell us you're a faggot. At this moment, I felt pure, unbridled rage, the amalgamation of my anger. Like the Sprouts ink, it rose up from the depths of my mind, filling all my thoughts. Morons! Did you know that my dad is also... Oh, wait, what? Oh. Is also a fag? Someone burst out laughing. This became the last straw. Fear and anger were grappling inside me like mad dogs. He knows Aikido, got it? He's also a vet. He'll kill the likes of you with his eyes closed. One forward from me and he'll... Roma lifted his arms, stopping my torn eyes, and made a couple steps forward. Simeon slowly backed off, giving me an opportunity to stand up. Pines were swaying back and forth, like solemn guardians. Did he believe me? Or is he confused by my face, twisted with rage? A vet, you say? My dad also fought in the war. An Afghan. And yours? Mine too. Oh, really? What force did he serve in? I stumbled with fear. Fear chomping at my rage's throat and made it bleed. He's full of shit, Rumka. Sure as fuck, eh? Do you think I'm so easy to trick? I can see through your lies, little bitch. There's a nasty smile on his face now. This didn't bode well for me. Well, you asked for this. Teacher saved you at school, but here... Heh. You're fucked. Hey, that's right. Ready to find you with a dead body come spring, eh? Why is he Canadian? What is he? If he's only stayed silent, wouldn't have lost a hair. Hitting Fatso's one thing. Fucking around with stuff like Afghan, where my dad spent time under fire, under national duty. Give him a good pounding, Sioma. The thing was closing in on me and I ended up in front of Simeon. Blood was pumping in my temples. Roma, please stop them. You've proved your point. Let us go. You can go anytime. We'll take out the trash in the meantime. What bugged me is that the moment wasn't even humiliating attitude from Runko, but rather how sweet Polina had addressed him. These delinquents were pushing the girl toward the pines. Branches were swaying back and forth as if something... The whispers something giving me hope. God, this is a lot of reading. I've never just read this much all at one thing. I gritted my teeth. I think once I'm done with this episode, I'm going to call it, because I think there might be another one. I gritted my teeth, fighting the thought that I'd look silly, and took a boxing stance I often saw in the movies. What are you, fucking Mike Tyson? This is my first fight ever. I'll remember it for the rest of my life, if I don't kick the bucket, of course. At the edge of my vision, I noticed the darkness writhe again, as if someone was walking back and forth there. I sensed Roma's claws grabbing my backpack. Give me your shit, Anatoshka. It'll get in the way. I was about to refuse. I wanted to cooperate with the bastard, but then he fished a butterfly knife out of his pocket with one smooth motion, spun it as if showing it off, and put the blade to my neck. Easy, buddy. I can make it painful. I let out a clam of steam instead of words. Pulled with all his might, and my backpack ended up in his hands. Polina shrieked! Rumko winked at her, saying, "Don't worry, I've got this," as if saying, "Don't worry, I've got this." Calm and relaxed. An insidious smile on his face, he looked into my backpack. Are you hiding something from us? Some rats stole my school shoes. Let me see if it was. And what's this? Rumka gave me a dubious smile. So what do we have here? My textbook and notebooks fell in this. He was holding my backpack in one hand and something weird in the other. It looked like a mask. Roma lifted it high as if showing it to someone. It was to someone else. Someone in the treetops in the twilight among the trees. An old bunny mask. Long, worn-out ears. Tiny bunny. Barely visible nose and whiskers. Mangy fur on the sides. Where did it come from? Who put it there? Simeon laughed. It's way past New Year's, moron. Or are you really a loony? It's not mine. How come it's not? It was in your backpack. Rumko was watching this scene and unfolded with an evil smile on his face. Savages, this is the first time you've seen a mask? Which city is this? Yeah. You know what? Put it on. Why? Because I'm telling you to. You hop like a bunny for us. Yeah, come on. Or leave you pantless. Not when Polina is here. I won't. Sioma put it on him. Yeah. Biasha rushed to his friend's side and took the worn-out mask from with a buffoonish bow. Then he passed it to Simeon, who was already rubbing his hands with anticipation. I looked around the pine woods, as if waiting for help, as if the shadows that writhed around us would take pity on me and take my side. It was the old man! The old man! Branches looked like arms, twisted at unusual angles. Blackened bark was her charred skin, and the darkness was the smoke they produced. I can't run. Won't get away, they'll catch me. And then, no, I won't run. I won't abandon Polina. Let me warn you, Selma. If you want Hop, you'll take his place, got it? Piece of shit won't. Just look at him, he's a total loony. This loony already had smacked you in the face. Rumka's right. Oh, Fatso, assert your dominance. It'll make you hop so hard your big tits will fall off. You must indeed be scared of Rumka. Simeon swore silently and glared at me first, then Paulina. Here. Will fit better this way. Disgusting. He rolled a huge ball of spit in the inside and put it close to mine. His spit looked like a squash spider. Rumka's face twisted. He spasmed like a beast, like he wanted to tell Simeon something, but then he suddenly stopped. Paulina covered her face with her hands in terror. Simeon was still close by, with a disgusting smirk on his face and a terrible smell coming from his mouth. Put it on, fast, or you're dead. The mask almost looked even more disgusting now, yet despite everything, felt like a chance for salvation. It could become my second skin. If only I was to put it on, if only my face was to touch this bumpy surface, I'm sure the fur will glitter, the ears will tremble like they're alive. I just need to put it on, and Simeon and his friends will be gone. Forever. Ooh. No. For some reason, Rumka's disappointment with Simeon made me feel brave. Something is wrong in their crew. Some old disagreement. I should cut this old wound open. You know what, Simeon? My own voice, smooth and determined, was a huge surprise. I'm gonna save in case something's about to happen. I feel like I'm about to have like a boss fight. Okay. I stepped forward and calmly proclaimed, "Fuck off." It felt like the whole world was paused for a second and then paused right away. Simeon's pupils widened. The mask fell out of his meaty hands. He took a while to process my words, looking stunned as if he was trying to solve a difficult math problem, but the answer he got made him mad, judging by the bulging veins in his forehead. The others just observed the scene silently, waiting for the inevitable payback. I noticed Paulina's face stretch in horror. You're dead! Simeon lunged at me like a hawk and clawed at my face with his twisted fingers with gnawed fingernails. I threw a kick toward the layer of fat underneath the coat. Yes, get him! The moment, the world became fuzzy. The black trees and the face of my classmates all blurred. My glasses. What, can't see anything without him, sucker? He threw up his hands that he was holding my glasses toward the sky so I couldn't get them. Give them back. Give it back right. I was surrounded by a leaden fist with a sharp signet that hit me in the brow, producing a cracking sound, throwing me to the frozen earth. I'm bleeding. A circle of blurry faces, dying from disgusting laughter, was mocking me, making me want to puke. As soon as I was almost to catch my breath, a blurry figure rushed towards me. But instead of a new hit, I was offered an out-of-reach hand. Immediately grabbing it. Oh no. Hoping it was Paulina, but I soon realized how wrong I was after I felt the sting of dry blisters on the palm. It was Rumka. He helped me stand up. Can't see anything? For real? His voice sounded compassionate, which surprised me. I squinted, trying to find Paulina in the fog before my eyes. She was gathering my things and putting them over the school bag. What about your hearing? Huh? He leaned in close and asked me with a voice that was way less friendly. Can you hear me fine, Antoshka? Yeah? I blinked in bewilderment, then listened closely. He brushed off my coat, then hit me in the jaw with all his might. Why? My jaw clicked. If my tongue was between my teeth at my moment, it would not only have been blind, but I would also talk worse than Bayasha. As Saga, the world around me spun like a peg top again. Rumka held me by the elbow, preventing me from falling over. Anton! Bayasha locked her in his arms, preventing her from running to my side. Consider this a warning. If I ever see you near Paulina, even a meter close, I won't let it slide. Got it? Yeah. And to make it stick, his fist landed on my temple. The world turned upside down. I felt like I was falling into the sky from a color of decaying meat. I grabbed the roots to stop myself from tumbling more. My consciousness was drifting on the top of the abyss, gliding to its depths like a deflated balloon. I tried to get up. Oh no! A blurry silhouette that probably belonged to Paulina was fighting back, with two others held her by the hands and dragged her away. We'll take you home. Don't be scared, eh? Yeah, who knows what kind of psychos roam this forest. Tosha here should rest for a bit. Helena! Rumka's boot met with my face. My hand got twisted. The back of my head hit the ice. My eyes obediently rolled over. Darkness jumped out, took a stance, just to devour me. Ugh, cough. Tough luck. I turned around, dug my nose into the bed sheets, forced my eyes open with great difficulty. Painting to the wall, books, a pile of comic magazines. I felt at my chin, afraid that it will respond with sharp pain. My fingers slid across my face to my temples. No bumps, no pain. I sat up, blinking in surprise, fixed my glasses. Steadied my hands, clean without any mud under the nails. My school bag was reclined against the table. I heard bits and pieces of a conversation through the door. I was at home in my bedroom. Did I get here myself? What about the glasses? Did Simeon return them? Polina, maybe? Or an unknown friend? I decided to leave that question for later and looked out the window. The forest had many secrets, and it wasn't in any hurry to reveal them to me. The clock in the nightstand showed 10 a.m. The sun was already above the field, but it didn't bring any warmth. The thicket moaned from its cracking bones. Oh no. I went into the hallway, and the conversation became clear. Laughter. I haven't heard Mom laugh in so long. In a silent house among the sneaking shadows. Such an ordinary but dear laughter. I sneaked through the ladder to the lowest floor, as if afraid to spoil that moment. Then I asked him, do you have any comics? I want to buy some for my bunny. And then he goes, your rabbit reads comics? Mom burst out laughing. Alia followed suit. Well, yeah, tell him my bunny is well trained. Gosh, you're the best. Did you doubt me? Not even for a second. Mom and Dad sitting in the tree. This isn't real. That can't be a real smile. When I entered the kitchen, Mom was kissing Dad on the forehead and he was gently stroking her shoulder. Alia sat between her parents, armed with a fork. A polka-dotted cooking pot emanated a pleasant aroma, even with the lid on. Here he is. Hey, that sleepyhead took after your father on that. A white canvas. I clicked on it. A white canvas of a frosted window behind Mom's back made it look like she was on someone's painting. Come on, sit down. Take a load off your feet. Breakfast is the most important thing for any healthy person. I sat down, a charming smile on my lips. Yeah. Alia winked at me, and the lamp on the table flickered in unison with her. You look so sleepy. Well, what can you do? He's our child. It's already too late to hand him over to an orphanage. Dad let out a dry laugh to show he was joking. Mom slapped him on the shoulder. I'm so hungry. Do you think you're the only person who's dripping saliva over here? Big bro, will you eat like this? How? I caught the sparkling gaze of my parents and myself. If I had a camera at that moment, I would have taken a snap so I could look at those smiles on a photograph. I wanted this beautiful moment to last forever. Then the light bulb went out and came back. The glass window shuddered slightly. Take off the mask, son. It'll get in the way of eating. What mask? A silly smile got stuck on my face. Dad showed me his sturdy white teeth that looked like piano keys. Come on, take it off, bunny. I slid my hand across my cheek and let out a laugh. What do you mean? My whole family was laughing now, pointing their fingers at me, slapping their knees on the tablecloth. Dad wiped his wet eyes with his knuckles. Good job making us laugh, son. Now take off your mask, please. Touched my face again, my skin went numb. But I'm not wearing a mask. Mom fidgeted on her chair. She tilted her head and squinted. The canvas behind her back turned gray and kept getting darker with every passing moment. We can't start until you take it off. I can't wait anymore. Take off the mask. Stop fooling around. His voice was kind but firm. Mom, Tosha's scaring me. Chair legs straight against the floorboards. Alia moved away from me. What is going on? Are you done? She wasn't smiling anymore. Actually, there wasn't a single smile left in the room, if you don't count the cracks in the walls. What have you done? You made your sister cry. But... Alia sobbed, her eyes downcast, sinking fearful glances at me. Mom slammed her fist on the table, and I almost fell to the floor along with the chair. What a disgrace of a son! We're all having fun and you come around and ruined everything? Splashes of saliva flew at me. I turned to Dad, begging him to explain what was going on. Sticky syrups trickled down Dad's beard, falling on his shirt as I was looking in different directions. There was a loud sound in the attic. Water pipes grumbled. The house was alive. That's creepy. Every room had someone wrestling, now moving around, breathing in it. Light bulb started flickering like a stroboscope. The face of my parents disappeared in the darkness, only to appear again moments later. Outside, a tall shadow walked past the window. I was about to jump up and run away but my body wasn't listening to my commands. My hand just obediently stayed on the table. It was just an onlooker. The lights went out. I spent 3 heartbeats in complete darkness. Oh, no! Then the bulb flashed with blinding light. 2 masks were looking at me with their gaping eyes. A foxwoman. My mom was just a moment ago. A wolf man at the head of the table. And a bunny girl. My Alia. I couldn't even ask why they wore these strange, scary animal faces. And why the fur on them was moving, as if there was something writhing inside the masks, making the papier-mâché bulge. My tongue didn't listen to the commands my brain sent to it. I could only shift my gaze between the masks, watching the long, twisted shadows behind the backs of my family. Bon appetit! She tore the lid from the pot. Oh my god! A cut-off head was lying in bloody gravy. A pair of glazed eyes were jolting from inside the pot. Its mouth was open in a silent scream. The head at the bottom of the pot belonged to me. Blood ran down the agonized face of the cut-off head. At the same time, something hot started streaming from my nostrils, scarlet dripping drops falling onto the tablecloth. Eat up! I screamed! I jumped. My jaw was burning, as were my temples. The kitchen, the beast in the animal mask, and the dead head. Everything had disappeared. Everything but the goddamn mask was that was haunting me. One of the delinquents put it on me for the laughs. I tore the bunny face off that already stuck to my face, threw it on in the darkness, and realized that I woke up near the crumbled snowman in the forest. Covered in snow and coniferous needles, without my glasses, and with a smashed face. So I blacked out. Horrible. Pulsating pain seemed like a gift compared to the horrors I just witnessed. I stood up, spitting out blood. The forest seemed like a prison that was keeping me with its wooden bars. I don't know how long I was out. My limbs were numb from the cold, my pants were soaking wet. Oh no, the music. I stood alone in a ring of towering trunks, not able to see anything. Everything around me moved, trembled, my ears went numb from all the rustling. The tree tops melted in the darkness of the cosmos. The bushes became empty cells, whose occupants were suddenly set free. It felt like a clawed fang could only fly out of the darkness into my stunned face at any moment. I heard a scream somewhere far away. Anton! Excuse me. Someone was looking for me, just like the boy that went missing. Tears stung my eyes. A big drop fell from my lashes. Anton! The scream was closer now, and for a moment I believed I was about to be saved. I'm here! The light hit my face. I covered it with my hand. Flashlight's rays slid down. Dad! There you are! Are you out of your mind? What's this all about? My dad walked out from the shadows. I went toward him, hoping that he won't melt, but he's not another trick that my insane mind played on me. He turned out to be real, warm and alive. Gag got your tongue. I met a girl from your class on the road. She said, branches cracked in the distance. I pressed myself onto my father's chest, engulfed by fear. He started looking around, alerted. Altered? Am I an idiot? And spoke in a tone of voice I was much more nervous. Okay, let's get out of here. If your mother learned of this, she'll be so mad at us that we'll never forget this day. I reached for my father, still feeling the chilling embrace of fear. I grabbed his firm hand, felt his quick pulse with my fingertips. then stood up and wobbled behind my father, following his barely discernible footprints. Back to civilization, back to light, back to the road where my dad parked his car. Not a word about this at home, got it? Don't even hint at where I found you. Alright, Dad. What about my face? My bruised, bloody face. He was holding my hand as if it was the most precious thing in the world and kept telling me how afraid he is to lose me or Alia. I nodded and moved my legs. And when we got the car, Dad noticed my scratches. Somebody hurt you? I felt without my cheek. I got into a fight. Over what? A girl. Dad replied with a thoughtful nod. I heard the low hum of the engine. You fought? Yeah? Good. My dad wore a fearful expression. It wasn't that sticky fear that paralyzed me in the nightmare, though. His fear was noble, like crystal clear diamond. He opened his glove box and got some napkins out of there. Fighting for the girl you like is right. Yes, only you try to resolve things with words, just sometimes words don't work. Dad flashed an encouraging smile at me. Right as he was about to close the glove box, I noticed a handle peeking out from under a rug. A gun! He was carrying a gun around. My dad, a true intellectual, had a pistol with him, like an actual movie hero. I gotta adjust. I've been sitting in this chair for over 3 hours. Or like an ordinary thug, some voice whispered to me. Pines were flying by in the window. The lights were struggling against the darkness. The car carried me back home. Dad was cautiously studying me in the back mirror. I was thinking about the gun, about my dreams, about the people in animal masks pretended to be my parents. Is this the end of chapter 2? And the white snowflakes just kept dancing in the starry sky. Look what the cat dragged in. Mom was going down the stairs, piercing Dad with a trademark glare. Her face showed something between wrath and condescension. Suddenly her gaze shifted to me and stayed for a dangerously long time. What's this? Where are your glasses, Anton? Did you lose them? This dummy probably just forgot them at school. A venomous pause followed. He's your son, all right. Dad glared at Mom and then mischievously winked at me, reminding me of our deal. Well, we have spare glasses, so we'll manage somehow. My parents stood in silence a bit longer, and both of them went to mind their own business. Damn, they sure did. Alia threw herself into my arms before I could even take off my coat. I saw a fox! Surprised akin to a shotgun blast. I could only flap my lips in reply. A cup shattered in many little pieces with a loud thing. Mom let it fall from her hands. Her face was pale and her eyes were glued to the ground. This pause, just a split second, felt like an eternity. Then my mom spoke with disappointment. First it was an owl, now it's a fox. Will you ever get tired of this? But it's true! She was so fluffy. She stood on her back legs near the hedge just like a person. Fox called my name, but then Mom came and she fled. There was no fox, so I'm making things up. Don't go near her. If it was necessary, I was ready to shake my sister as if she was a doll made of cloth. What's wrong, Tosha? Don't go. You hear me? Mom entered the hallway and gave me a surprised look. I hesitated. Well, a fox will bite you. I remember the fairy tales where foxes used to kidnap children. I imagined Alyssa, liberated, carnivorous, running through the night forest with a dangling sack in her hands. It wasn't a real fox. Tell him, Alia. She stood on 2 legs and she wore a dress. And she was real. See? Mom showed us a tired smile as if it was the only explanation needed. I also forced myself to smile. My smile is like a thin piece of soap right before it dissolves completely on your palm. But when I was left alone with my sister, I whispered, if you see her again, run. Memories about my family and discussing mass attacks bombarded me like the underhanded blows of my classmates. The furry face of my family stood before my eyes, their toothy mouths full of thick saliva. What's happening to me? What kind of tricks is my mind playing on me? This bunny mask was real. It appeared in my school bag out of nowhere, as if I never threw it away in the forest. I shut my eyes, threw the vitamins in my mouth, washed them down with water. Please, stop driving me mad, please. Man, this is going on a while! The first one was about an hour and a half. This one's 2 hours, almost. I barely managed to force myself to do homework, but those math problems just refused to be solved. Numbers on my notebook tumbled around and mixed in a whirling dance, sometimes running over the lines. My head became heavy from that pandemonium that I almost dropped it into that chain of numbers. My eyelids felt like there were tiny weights tied to them, the type used in grocery stores. How much longer? And right at the moment I surrendered and closed my notebook, the memories of my day started flashing right before my eyes. My stream's at 7:20. Wow! It's not useful on a game like this, but wow! I was in the middle of the stuffy school corridor. I could see the literature classrooms from here, the faces of the dead classical writers on the portraits, the prim and regal pose of their homeroom teacher, Lilia Pavlovna. And around the corner, that was her daughter, Katya, snitch and gossip eagerly waiting for me. Hey, transfer student, transfer student! What do you want, Katya? She got on her tiptoes and started swaying, hiding her hands behind her back, and then asked me with a fake smile on her face. Can I ask you something? Why don't you get transferred here? I might have told her the truth about this to Polina. Katya will sell it in the market for 3 kopikas. Be the same as printing all my thoughts and hanging them near Vova's picture for everyone to see. So I reverted to an answer I know by heart. Because of my parents. Dad has a new job here, and my mom. Katya didn't even listen to me. She rushed toward the perky ears of her friends, whispered something while Young glanced at me and giggling. Yeah, right. He takes us for fools. I've heard it's all because of his father. He crossed the road of some big shot, and now their family is hiding in our remote little village. That's not true. You're lying. Did you hear? Did you hear about how Baburin beat him up? And all he could do was look all pathetic and take it. Stop it. You know he wasn't alone. And if that wasn't enough, there are rumors that the weirdo carries a bunny mask with him wherever he goes. Who in their right minds would do something like that, huh, girls? I see your Antoshka must be truly special. Maybe he's autist? Maybe he's an autist? Oh, but what if he's a serial killer? She'll be able to find an axe in his back if you look hard enough, or something even worse. Yes, yes, yes! Shut up! Look at his scream. Look at him scream as if something will bite him. His pupils, look how wide they are. Hope he won't go insane or resort to violence again. I mean, there must be a reason his mom always feeds him those pills, right? I just stood there in confusion, trying in vain to understand how she found out about my medicine, and what scared me more is the possibility that her nonsense had some truth mixed in. Yes, that's right. He's as insane as his little sister. Can you imagine what she says a human-sized owl visits her every night? Yes, yes, yes! Not a single healthy person has seen it. And the simpleton believes her. Can you imagine that? Then I caught a single kind look from the smirking crowd. How can it be, Anton? Are you unwell? Polina, please listen to me. Yeah, right. Don't listen to this liar, Polinicha. He's probably never even been to Moscow. Sluicer can't even stand up for himself, and he won't be able to defend you if it comes down to it. He'll run away to protect his own skin. Weakling. Polina slouched as if someone kicked her in the stomach and then burst out in tears and fell to the dirty floor wailing and screaming. No! No! Why, Anton? Why? I couldn't understand her reaction, but I still rushed to Polina's side before getting shoved violently by Katya. Get your paws off her, you monster! Rage was building up under the veil of my fear. It slowly rose from the cloudy mist. I felt my upper lip creep up, showing my teeth. The fact that your father beats your mother doesn't give you the right to do the same to girls. My fists became hammers. I couldn't unclench them. Nobody can speak about my family like that. I came to my senses when I already lunged at the angry Katya. Yeah, he went nuts, nuts! Help, help! Petrov went completely insane. Though the crowd around him became louder and started whistling and roaring. And growing? Subtle silhouettes of school became larger, wider. They shot upward toward the ceiling. Oh. Turned into a giant black forest chock full of toothy faces. I shrunk to a tiny ball of fur, started shaking in fear before the might of ulcer-ridden trunks that belonged to either trees or humans. It was impossible to tell. So you've finally shown your animal nature. Coward! Katya's face was twisted with jubilation and ecstasy. Anton! Why? No! Why did you do this to me? Polina screamed while choking on her tears. He is just an animal. An outsider. A scary flapping wing came to the forest. A pair of giant white ears descended from somewhere from above, and I dug myself into them. Anton! Anton! Please. Wake up. I jumped, almost falling out of bed. Apparently I was thrashing around for hours on the sweat-soaked sheets. Alia's scream pulled me out and set me free from the tentacles of fear. Anton! Please? Wake up, wake up! It took my eyes a while to focus on the silhouettes near the window. Alia's voice was distant. My head was still ringing after the fight. Sounds got distorted, as if my ears were stuffed with cotton. My sister, as distressed as ever, just kept repeating the same phrase. The owl, please! I'm scared! Do I get to see the owl? Her tears poured on my heart like boiling water, but I was almost thankful for the owl's appearance. Otherwise, the scary Alia wouldn't have woken me up. Wait a second, Alia? Do you want me to read you Mir Zilka? Kids book. I placed my bare heels on the cold floor. Felt around for my glasses. Remembered Simeon, his underhanded act inside. Anton, please, look! She couldn't tear her eyes off the window as if it was a staring contest. I found the light switch with my hand and the lamp poured bright light all over me. I got up. My vision fooled me, moving the window closer only to push it farther the next moment. My sister was just a blurry spot. I took a hesitant step forward. Alia? What's there? What happened? Do you want me to open the curtains? No, please don't! The owl is there! The voice is coming from behind. I turned around and froze from terror. Tear-eyed Alia stood in the doorway. Who are you talking to right now? She stared at me with eyes that were red from crying. Her hands wrapped around her shoulders. Her voice was nervous, as if she was afraid to hear my answer. Good God! I was talking to you. To someone who pretended to be you. The ledge outside my windows creaked ominously as if something huge was sitting on top of it. And the thing that pretended to be Alia started spreading, changing shape, growing to scarier heights under the light of a carnivorous moon. Anton! Please! Come closer, come here. The voice didn't belong to my sister anymore. The thing that was hiding my curtains got tired of pretending, making me look like a fool. I pinched myself as hard as I could, hoping that the silhouette near the window was just a continuation of my nightmare, a hallucination, brought upon by the cursed house. And those don't bite, do they? The silhouette was towering before me under the veil of mist. I heard Alia's shrill scream as someone knocked on the window. Knock, knock. He came to get us! Another knock. I sit back in the middle of the room. As if there existed nooks where I could hide from this horror. The sound was sharp, metallic. The lamp started shimmering, then suddenly lighted the whole room and went out, like a candle on the strong wind. The filament inside it snapped with a ringing sound. The darkness I was waiting for that exact moment poured from all angles and enveloped me. There was only this window left in the whole universe. Moonlight poured through it, painting everything the color of bones that were exhumed from a crypt. Alia started squealing and pressed herself into my back, seeking protection. Oh, God! And then an eye, burning with carnivorous fire, stared at us from the window. Knock, 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 knock! No, it wasn't trying to break the window, it was toying with us. It just kept knocking, driving us mad. As if a giant clock was measuring the time for us, its pendulum swinging above the abyss. Go away! Get away! Shoo! She was screaming in desperation. Her hands clutched my arm like a pair of pincers. Anton! Anton! Come closer. I could barely make out a pair of wings that spread above the black spot. Don't tell her, Anton. Tell her that I won't be a bad girl anymore. Never ever. I just wanted to leave. Please. The moonlight suddenly disappeared and the room descended into darkness. We couldn't see the burning eye anymore. I swallowed the stingy lump that was stuck in my throat. I stepped toward the curtain, entranced by the call of this disfigured guest.
Не буду, не буду, не буду, не буду.
Ollie was standing behind me, mumbling, I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll be good. The bleak window creeps closer. The curtains rustled. I reached out to move them aside so I could look fear in the eye. At that moment, I heard noise coming from my parents' bedroom. Without thinking, I pulled the curtain to the side in one swing. Nothing. There was something shining on the ledge among the scattered feathers. My glasses. The one that Simeon took from me. How did they get here? Is that a gift from the gurgling night? Did that owl really bring them here? I looked at the front yard, at the foreboding clearing in the toothy forest. Not a soul, not a trace of our late guest. Only the old lamppost streaming like a lone watchman among the snowy desert. The dry window frame creaked. Don't! No. You gotta let your parents see this! I tore away the insulating paper and stripes of glued newspaper. If they do that, they help seal. It's like plastic wrap on houses. I opened the window with big trouble. Frost pinned me with its little needles. The paintings on my walls moved from the draft. I touched my glasses, sure they would melt in my hands, but they were real. My brain was scrambling for an explanation. Simeon and his gang just pulled a prank on me. That was it. That's it. A smooth white blanket was glittering under the street lamp under our yard, just outside our yard. If anybody wants to get close to this house, to climb the pipe outside of my window, they would surely leave footprints. But there were none. I cautiously took my glasses. My wrist was still intact. Nobody pulled me in the darkness full of restless writhing. Why aren't you in bed? I swayed from surprise and almost fell out of the window. Are you out of your mind? Did it feel hot in here? Do you want to catch a cold? The owl was here. Tosha scared it away. Go to your room immediately and get in your bed. And you. Mom paused, directing her seething eyes at me. She was thinking of a punishment equivalent to my crime. In the end, she waved her hand, took Ollie by the shoulder, and left, throwing gloomy words my way. We'll talk tomorrow. That's why you should have waited! Should have given me an option. I managed to get the frame back in place with a couple of hits. Pressed in the latches with all the strength my fingers could muster. The cold left the room, but the fear was still present. I placed my glasses on my nose and started studying my reflection in the window. It didn't look like a face, more like a death mask. Just like the one worn by the boy from the notice board. That night, I was on the edge of joining him there. A black and white face was staring me through the clearing between student heads. Oh, no. The owl got... What's his... Simeon. And it wasn't Vova. His face was right beside it. I recognized the fat cheeks, the damaged skin. Simeon. But Burns' photo was printed out and placed under the glass like an exhibition piece. Yeah, I'm ending that there. I want to go on, but man, I gotta eat. I haven't eaten anything today. Let's save up here. All right, that was it. Tiny Bunny stream. I'm probably gonna go play through the episode on my own. Episode 3 on my own, record it and have it uploaded the next few days. Wow, I'm impressed. I hope everyone who's watched this now, past, present, future, has enjoyed this. I am gonna continue this. I'm gonna finish this. There's only 3 episodes out, but I'm gonna finish this. Wow. Right. Thanks for watching, everybody.